Did I stutter?
He has time, launches it to the end zone. Touchdown! Terrence Williams!
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
The 2011 winner of the Heisman Trophy is Robert Griffin III, RG3!
Welcome to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Langoliers, base hit to center, and the Baylor Bears win their first Big 12 tournament championship.
Their fat little girlfriends are telling them what they want to hear, which is how great you are.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Yep, just ready for OU.
You can't handle the truth.
Here's Drake Toll.
All right. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Drake Toll alongside JD Piquel, Armstrong Sims. Let's start here, JD. What is JD stand? Don't tell us. Don't tell us. 254-339-1122. You text the show. Text the show on our Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line. 254-339-1122. What does JD stand for? Again, you can't tell us because I feel like you know.
Well, I cheated. I looked at the answer key. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is an honest show.
All right,
well
then you cannot answer. You can no longer answer.
I can't text in.
254-339-1122 or tweet us at UpTempo365. Today, breaking down chaos in collegiate basketball last night, all across the board. Kansas, Oklahoma State. Did you guys see that? Kansas, Oklahoma State. OSU's blowing them out, right? 15, 16-point game.
Right.
And then, lo and behold, Kansas is right back in it. They got a 1-point lead, like a minute 15 to go. Oklahoma State gets the ball, ends up getting an and one, like an insane steal. Cunningham throws it back in, and one. Place goes nuts. Later on, they hit a three. Like some wild stuff happens. Kansas have a possession tie, 73-70. They can tie. They miss the first shot, offensive rebound. Miss the second shot. Ball goes out of bounds off Oklahoma State. Kansas gets it back. Kansas has 3 seconds on the clock. Lob it in. Steal by Oklahoma State. Dunk on the other end. Reverse dunk. Oklahoma State knocks off number 6 Kansas in Stillwater yesterday, 75-70.
Do we know who Kansas is yet? Like all these big brand teams, I feel like across college sports, not just college basketball.
They're the Jayhawks.
We can't get a verdict on them. We don't.
They're the Jayhawks.
Yeah, Kansas.
Other than that, though. No, I don't think we know who Kansas is.
That took me a second.
We talked Baylor, West Virginia. Would have been exciting to be at that one, but
would have loved to.
We could not be at that one. However, if you're watching today, we're giving stuff away again. We're playing the green and blank game today and giving one of these suckers away. Look at this right there. You see that? I didn't know we had these until yesterday. I went into the doldrums of the SicEm365 vault and found these suckers, and I love it. What do you call this? This says an ice shaker stemless. Is it what does that mean?
Coffee cup. I'm assuming this is for adult beverages. Or
whoa, you could put a solid Coke
it looks like
or
it
Diet Coke in that.
Maybe it looks like it's like a
coffee
cup.
You think so? Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not putting coffee.
I really like this this shade though.
With that lid.
I really like this shade. This is cool.
Giving stuff away today on Up Tempo, playing the green and blank game later on the show.
Most generous show I think in all of sports.
Yeah, we give a lot of stuff away.
Most generous
show.
We
give way too much stuff away.
We do give a lot of stuff away. Gave some stuff away yesterday. Call us at 254-339-1122. Bear Games question of the day. If you could add one school to the Big 12, what school would it be and why? What school are you adding to the Big 12? Man, oh my gosh, it is blowing up.
I got opinions.
We've got opinions here. It's the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line's blowing up right now. We've got this from Central Arkansas, John David. John David?
Close, but no cigar. Actually, not really that close, but I was a valiant effort and a good guess.
John David. Oh, okay.
Garland Bear says James David. Do we have a James David in the house? Anybody? James David?
No James David.
Nobody's responding. James David. Now we got, this question. Thoughts on Kansas dropping a game to Oklahoma State and who's guarding Cade Cunningham for the Bears? We'll get that to do a second because Gunny says it's for wine. It's not for coffee.
Okay.
It's not for coffee.
Okay.
You can
I'm not a wine
would-
drinker,
it
so
would
I
work.
would.
I bought one of
It
those for
would
my
work.
mom one year, and she put Diet Coke in it.
Oh, okay.
Diet Dr. Pepper.
I mean, it would hold any
hold
liquid,
any
we're
liquid,
assuming,
yeah.
right? But this is specifically for wine.
I might use it for milk.
Okay, so
Milk in the morning, yeah.
a wine.
Oh no, we
ice
accidentally turned
shaker.
Armstrong's microphone off. Sorry, Armstrong. He's using it for milk.
You know, you're not.
I don't drink milk.
Not big
personally.
milk fans.
I don't drink milk, but
I go to like a
this
gallon
would
a
hold
week.
milk. This would hold whatever you want it to. Milk. You could even put some almonds in here. This is a versatile device.
Versatile, very versatile.
Oh my gosh. How about this on the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line? Thoughts on Kansas dropping a game to Oklahoma State?
Yep.
Who's guarding Cade Cunningham for the Bears? Cade Cunningham absolutely went off yesterday. Looked really good after he didn't look that great against Kansas State. Cade Cunningham may be the best athlete in the Big 12 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Jared Butler has the experience. I think Jared Butler's going to win Big 12 Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
But Cade Cunningham is he's a remarkable beast of a basketball player for Oklahoma State. And here's the deal. Baylor's got a really good defensive unit, but if they're in a
one of
true
the
man,
best.
if they stick to that true man, who guards Cade Cunningham? Cade Cunningham's got size, too.
I really like Davion Mitchell. I know there's probably a little bit of a size mismatch there, but Davion Mitchell, the best defender in the country. And I don't want to hear anything else besides Davion Mitchell is the best defender in the country. And so when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, that'll be Davion Mitchell and Cade Cunningham. I'm excited to see that battle.
I don't know. The size difference there is significant.
I like Davion Mitchell.
Okay.
I like
I
Davion
agree.
Mitchell. I get it. It's unorthodox, but I still like him. I don't know if there's someone better that you could put
Armstrong,
on
turn your microphone back on. I concur with that. I like that. I like that thought. Here's this. If you're listening on Twitter or Periscope or Facebook Live or YouTube or wherever you're listening, wherever you may be in different countries. We had someone from Baghdad, Texas the other day, sends a text, said, hey, what's up, you guys? Been listening from Baghdad. How about this, Armstrong? I went on a whole tangent yesterday. Do we have that?
We do have that.
All right. I don't want to have to go on the tangent again. So if you're listening on Periscope, you're just scrolling by and you're like, whoa! Hey, whoa, guys, Up-Tempo's on my Twitter feed right now. Up-Tempo's on. You don't have to stay there. I know you're not staying on Twitter. I don't stay on Twitter.
Yeah, he
you can
watches
go
the full
watch
show
it
on
on
Twitter.
YouTube. You can watch it on the app. You can watch. Here, you know what? I said I'm not going to go on a tangent. I'm not going to go on a tangent. Armstrong, take it away. Download the SicEm365 app and listen live on there or watch live on there. Also, the YouTube, if you hit the subscribe button, that little ding, does it make a noise or is that only in the YouTube
It should.
videos?
If it doesn't, it should.
If it doesn't,
we can make a
if
way
it
to do
doesn't,
that.
keep hitting it until it does.
And say ding when you hit it.
Ting! And so hit the subscribe button, and when you subscribe, it'll tell you every morning, it'll say, hey, Up-Tempo's on.
Yeah,
What
lock
are you
in.
doing? Watch Up-Tempo. So here's the deal, too. What I've learned is, like, I got a text yesterday from a business in Central Arkansas that they play it on their TV, or they have a Roku.
No kidding.
You can watch Up-Tempo on your Roku.
We're on Roku?
We're on Roku now.
Let's go. Mom, I'm on Roku.
So like you're sitting there at your office and you're like, man, my boss is coming by and I'm like pulling on my computer and I'm back and then I'm listening to it in my AirPod and just, you know what? I'm tired of hiding it.
Yeah.
I need the world to know about Up-Tempo.
Yeah.
So you just boop, 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 Roku, TV, bam, ba-ding.
Yes, sir.
Up-Tempo
I love
on your TV. Now you're watching. Your boss walks by, says, what's that? And you say, well, it's Up-Tempo. And he's like, oh, well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's kinda
and then
cool,
your boss watches it with you.
Yeah.
You get a raise. You become your boss.
Yes.
You own the company.
And you find out your boss is, in fact, Baylor Bigfoot.
It's only money.
It's only money, baby.
It's only money. All right. That right there from yesterday's show on how you can listen to Up-Tempo today and get it rocking at all. Like, you can Roku it. You can YouTube it. You can do what you can do so many things to Up-Tempo.
I'm still so blown away that we're on Roku. I feel like we've actually made
Did
it
your
now
mom
that we're on
respond to that?
Roku. I don't even know if my mom has Roku.
Okay.
But she's probably going to get Roku now that she knows we're on it.
She needs to if she has
She needs
Roku.
to. Yeah,
Is
she
it
needs
Roku?
to.
Roku is just like an Apple TV. Just
Yeah, it's like a
version of-
Fire Stick.
Yeah, I think there's
you
also,
stick
there
it in
is like Roku TVs, I think, too.
Oh, yeah, there are. Actually.
Yeah.
These are
All right, so here's what we got.
in studio.
Heck yeah.
I am looking for a Jeffrey Daniel. Can a Jeffrey Daniel please stand up?
Close but no
Nobody.
cigar.
Close but no cigar.
For those just tuning in, we're trying to guess what JD stands for in JD.
Yeah,
Patel.
that's true. So if you can guess, I have got a sticker to give away. It's just like this right here. It's just like this SicEm365 right there. If you can guess JD's first and middle name, what JD stands for, you get a free sticker. I will personally mail it to you. I mailed some stuff out yesterday to loyal fans and game winners.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I did not know shipping costs so much. I learned a very valuable lesson yesterday.
Are we going to be giving away more local things?
We're going to be giving away a lot less on this show.
If you can get this right and you're in the Waco area, you can.
You can get this right and make it to 101 Elm sometime today.
Right.
So Baylor Bigfoot, double B's on the message. I think JD stands for James David.
Close. No.
Nope, not James David.
I keep saying close, but it just has like the first and second, or the first letter of both my first and middle name. So I guess that's why I keep saying it's close.
Do we have Bigfoot's number now?
Yeah, we do have Bigfoot's phone number.
Now that he texted in.
Oh, we've had that, though. Somebody changed his name to Bigfoot in there. We've got this coming in from Sarah the Double Bear. Sarah says, I'd add Arkansas because the old Southwest Conference rivalry, they can be a threat, but are beatable. Hey.
Yeah.
And
what do you think about that?
They are geographically close. We have a decent fan base in the area and wouldn't dilute our recruiting. I agree. There's a really good fan base in Arkansas of Baylor people. Like, it's not hard to like drive down the road and be like, oh, hey, Baylor sticker. You know, it's like it's decently uncommon, but still common enough. So I'm going to go with, I like Arkansas coming into the Big 12.
Is there enough bad blood there for that to be like a relevant Big 12, like still have that feel? You know what I mean? Not that it wouldn't be relevant, but you know what I'm saying? Like, is it close enough to where everyone's like still not liking each other? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were part of the Southwest Conference.
Yeah. Like I know Colorado was in the Big 12, but I never got why Colorado was in the Big 12.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know
Arkansas
what I mean?
in the Big 12 makes way more sense than Colorado.
Yeah. See, okay. I'm with that. Okay. Awesome.
So here's what we got. Today's guest list, too. T-Rex on the phone line. T-Rex, we're going to get to you here in just 1 second. We got to go through the guest list today. I don't know if you guys saw us on the forum last night. If you didn't, I need to start a new tangent on the forum because I'm telling you, it is unhealthy how much that I'm on the forum now. Like, I don't think that, you would think that, like, teenage people are not built to be on a forum. It's like it's dying out, but it's not. It is alive and well, and I love it.
Yeah.
It is consuming me. But I was on the forum again last night, as I am most nights, and looking through, posted on the forum the up-tempo guest list today. How about it? 11:30, Michael Woodson, the head Baylor men's tennis coach. How about this? 12:05, a little bit of Kyron Drones action. Anybody ever heard of Kyron Drones? It's coming on the show whether you have or you haven't. 12:30, Todd Harbor, head track coach at Baylor. They got a big meet coming up this weekend and an Olympian on their team. Did you see that yesterday?
I saw that.
Casey Lightfoot.
Y'all were comparing athletic experiences. That was fun. That was fun to hear.
We've seen, how do I put this? We have seen high levels of competition in our lives that are comparable.
Yeah, I'm sure he appreciated that too. I mean, that was probably nice for him to talk to somebody else who
that gets it.
You know, exactly.
12:05. I already said 12:05. 1:05. Ryan McGuire, head coach of the Baylor softball team. It's a no. 1:05. Ryan McGuire, head coach of the Baylor volleyball team, joins us to talk about his squad in the spring season they're going to play. Now we have T-Rex on the Impact Health Labs caller line. T-Rex, you're on with Up-Tempo.
Hey, guys. First off, I just sent the text line a picture. I don't know if you'll get pictures on the text line.
We
but
do.
Hopefully you do.
Sometimes that works in our favor. Other times it doesn't.
On the video feed. But that one's for you, Mr. Arkansas.
Nice. I like that.
I don't know if you've seen it.
I see it now. That's so sad. How did that happen?
So that's a shirt that my uncle, back in the day when the Arkansas broke up from the Southwest Conference, the T-shirt company worked for, they printed them off. I actually have that shirt still. It's actually a part of that's a T-shirt blanket in the picture, but so that's you can't really make that shirt anymore, but
wow.
I just thought of that. You were talking about Arkansas, but I mean, hey, I'd be all for Arkansas coming back. I guess not really coming back, but coming to the Big 12. Like you said, good little fan base. Geographically, it makes sense. But, hey, we don't get to make those decisions, unfortunately. Otherwise, we would have kicked Texas out a long time ago.
But that's our job, is to talk about it still,
But, hey, if they want to join, I mean, they ain't doing anything in the SEC, so be my guest. Come play with us. That's fine. They can come back to the old boys. But yeah, JD's name clearly stands for Jedediah Dominguez.
Yes!
Wow!
I can't believe it took that long.
How did he get
Stand
that?
up. Go ahead.
That
you
was
called
awesome.
your name out. Stand up.
Unfortunately, not Jedediah Dominguez, but that was a really good guess.
You told me it was off the air.
I'm full of surprises. But I'm also not honest.
Jeez.
Well, that's what you will forever be known to as me. Or to me. So.
That's the best guess we've gotten, I think. I appreciate that.
Hey, no problem, man. I see that y'all have head coach of the tennis team coming on later. Hopefully he gives us some good insight into the season. In case people don't understand, our tennis team is the greatest tennis team in the world, and we will win another national title, and we're going to win the Big 12. They would have won it last year, but COVID happened because the opposing schools couldn't deal with Baylor winning a national title in tennis, so they invented COVID. So we're going to win it in men's. Hopefully y'all get the women's coach on soon, too, because they're going to win it also. Every sport matters. I'm not just a football and basketball guy. We're not just a football and basketball school, because every trophy that we can put in the case is one trophy that Texas and Oklahoma doesn't have. So
love it.
Keep that in mind. Iowa State can keep their wrestling trophies. They don't even have baseball, so they can have wrestling. No one cares about them.
True. I agree with that.
But that's kind of the point. Hopefully I see some of y'all this weekend. Women play Saturday night. I just secured some tickets for that. Iowa State. I hate Iowa State in every aspect, including their female sports and their male sports. Equal opportunity here at T-Rex land. Everyone can get the smoke. So I'll be there, row 9, making sure they know whose house they walked into. Sigma Bears, that's all I got. Have a good Wednesday.
T-Rex, Terrence Williams or Danny Watkins on our Bear games today?
Oh, Bear games. Hold on. Danny Watkins or who?
Terrence Williams.
Oh, man, you know what? I'm going to go with Danny just because.
Wow.
I'm a big guy. He's a big guy. Got to give the big guys love.
All right.
Got to give the big guys
Going Danny Watkins. James.
So, like, that's cool, too.
Here's another big guy, little guy matchup. Oh, I say little guy. They're both big, but one's significantly bigger. James Lynch or Terrell Bernard?
Man. I'm going to go James Lynch just because I've tailgated with his parents multiple times on road games. So, unfortunately, I don't know if Terrell Bernard's parents have ever tailgated with me. So I'm going to give the edge to James on that one.
All right. You can add one school to the Big 12. Who?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Interesting. Why Cincinnati?
Yeah.
T-Rex, why Cincinnati?
What was it? I just feel like we're not going to get rid of West Virginia, so let's just give them a little geographical help. Okay. Kind of make the Big 12 more of a national, we got to grow the fan base. So we got this area pretty locked down. We're never going to add another Texas school. There's no reason to, money-wise or marketing-wise. Like Houston's not going to help. Rice clearly ain't going to help. A&M's not going to leave the SEC. There's not really anybody else in the South. SEC teams aren't going to leave. I mean, Arkansas, who knows, they could. They kind of threatened it before, I guess. But and expanding westward is not going to help anything. So I say, help West Virginia out, grab another team closer to them maybe. And who knows? I mean, hell, who knows what's going to happen in the next 2 years with realignment and everything. But I think Cincinnati would be a good grab. And I think they would have been a great grab this year, and they got screwed.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for your call, T-Rex.
All right.
Sweet. All right, we got more coming in on the Zip Whip. I keep calling it the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line. How about this? We've got Scotty B, the Baylor King. I'd love to add Nebraska to the Big 12 because they'd get back to some of those rivalries, old classic rivalries. I agree. Southwest Conference teams that you could have some of that with. Nebraska, you could have some of that with. How about we have Jonathan Davis?
No.
Is it Jonathan Davis?
Not Jonathan Davis.
Jonathan Davis.
Not Jonathan
I knew
Davis.
a John Davis.
Not
Knew a John Davis.
Jeffrey
it was my neighbor.
Daniel. John Davis. Oh, John Davis.
Yeah.
ATO John Davis.
Yeah. That's your guy. Yeah, he's a California. He's an ATO.
Yeah. How about this? Jeb Dwayne.
No, it's not. It's nothing obscure like Jedediah or Jeb or anything like that. It's a little more common.
Dexter Jones says, is it Joshua Dalton?
It is.
Hey,
it's Joshua Dalton.
No way, really?
Joshua Dalton.
I don't think I know
Joshua
Dexter.
Dalton.
I don't think I know Dexter.
Dexter's from the 949, so I got we've got a sticker
California.
going out to Dexter Jones. I've got the word, right there. The stick
Well
word.
done,
How about
Dexter
Dexter?
Jones.
Right there. Dexter Jones.
What was it again?
You think that's an alias?
Dexter?
Yeah.
Yeah, it may be an alias.
It
Check
sounds
that.
like
You
it
have to
would
check
be.
the number in your phone.
Yeah, I will.
I got another caller on the line. Steven from Virginia. Steve in. Welcome into Uptempo.
Hey, Hey guys, I didn't have a good guess for JD. I was going to say he's just that dude.
Thanks, Steven. Thanks, Steven.
Not exactly how the game goes, but I accept it. You know what? Brownie points for you, Steven, +6.
I'm glad to get 6 points today. Wisconsin could have used more than 6 points last night against Michigan.
No kidding.
I usually watch Big 12 basketball, but last night I found myself watching Michigan absolutely spank Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I watched it.
How about
watched
Juwan Howard?
It was 54-26 around halftime.
60-29 at one point. 60-29. That's stupid.
So I think that there may be a third team in the national title picture, because if Michigan can beat a team like Wisconsin like that so heavily, I really think that was an impressive win for me.
I agree. Michigan's now 3 straight teams they've beaten by 19 or more points. Armstrong's pulled it up there. The last time Michigan beat Wisconsin by 20 or more, Juwan Howard was the leading scorer in the game.
How about that?
I mean, this is an unbelievable Michigan team. I think Michigan should be 3rd in the country. I still think Texas should be 4. Villanova hasn't shown me a ton. I know they beat Texas earlier, but I think Texas is clicking it on all cylinders, regretfully. I like that top 5 between Baylor, Gonzaga, Texas, Michigan, Villanova. That may be the best top 5 that I can remember in college basketball in the last 5 years or so.
And it's the weird dynamic of, do you peak too early if you're Michigan? Like, at a certain point, are you trending upward at the wrong time? I would rather have this run closer to March than right now, but at the same time, you can't be upset that you're playing good basketball and just blowing out teams that nationally have a lot of respect. Wisconsin was a good team. Like, before last night, we thought Wisconsin was an okay team, and now Michigan is very much so a player in the national title race.
Yeah. What, Steven? How about a little bit of Bear games, yeah?
I'm here for some Bear games.
All right. Terrence Williams or Danny Watkins?
I'm voting T-Dub on this one. Yeah. Terrence Williams made it to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
That was a really big deal for me, because every time I saw him make a big play on Sunday Night Football, I was like, yeah, he went to Baylor. He went to Baylor. Yeah. So I got a good couple of years out of that.
How about old James Lynch or Terrell Bernard?
This is tough.
I still haven't voted on this one. You're making me choose between my favorites. James Lynch, a man who won Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, or Terrell Bernard, a player who's going to win Defensive Player of the Year?
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess I got to go James Lynch because he has the hardware already.
Yep. All-time leading sack leader, too, at Baylor, which isn't that crazy of a number.
But that's true.
It's like a pretty...
They started keeping it like 2005. Yeah. So they're like, we could count these.
Yeah.
How about this, though? Yeah, I think Terrell Bernard probably wins one. But you're right, James Lynch has it. He only played through his junior season and still owns the sack record. Absolute animal. Big 12 player of the year on the defensive side. But Stephen from Virginia, you could add one school to the Big 12. Who is it?
I would take back some of the schools from the old Big 12. When the Big 12 used to have Colorado, I'm from Missouri, so I would love St. Louis and Missouri to be an anchor in a Big 12 market. I feel like they would be with Kansas, and they would be right in where they always, if it was somebody without a Baylor tie, I would probably want Missouri or Colorado, just because I like both of those schools, not in terms of fandom, but I respect both of those programs, and they've had success. If we're going with the one that my heart wants, I miss Texas A&M and Texas playing the day after Thanksgiving. I mean, we did that. That was a family thing in my house for many, many years. So if Texas and Texas A&M could ever work out a way for Texas A&M to get back in this conference, that would probably be, and I know that I'm probably in the minority on that. I know everybody else has had enough of them.
And Bevo's in the A&M fight zone.
Those rivalry games really meant something to me.
Yeah.
All right, Steven, thank you for your call.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
Namaste.
Appreciate you.
I love that you mentioned that. Texas A&M's entire fight song is just a UT diss track.
Yeah, just Bevo's horn sawed off.
Goodbye to Texas
but also
University.
We don't play Texas ever anymore.
Right. There is like zero pride in the actual Texas A&M in the fight song. It's just like hey, we want you guys to know This is our fight song, but Texas lives rent-free in our fight song and in our heads.
And we don't like them. Yeah, they do live rent-free. Very much so.
Rent-free.
Very much so. Austin goes all the way up to College Station.
And Austin, like
unfortunately.
Texas, I feel like Texas fans, for the most part, aren't really that passionate about playing Texas A&M. They don't care. I think part of that is because they don't want to get beat by Little Brother. Because A&M still is Little Brother.
Yeah,
but my
still
favorite
at
part,
A&M.
it's the A&M fans that are like, no, we want to play them.
Yeah.
And that Texas just has the upper hand of being like, we don't have to play you.
Yeah.
It
Well,
doesn't.
it's because Texas has another rival.
Right.
Yeah, Texas has so many other
It's
teams.
almost
that they
arguably
play.
bigger.
Texas
Yeah.
hates Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I
Way
would say
more.
significant. So it reminds me of like in high school, we had one school that we were like super big rivals with.
Yep.
And you wanted to crush them every time. That said, losing to them was like respectable. You're like, okay, I have like, it's a rivalry, but there's that mutual respect. Then there was the other school down the road. They considered us their biggest rival, but we didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing. But that said, when you lose to that in that big rivalry game, it's like, man, it sucks. It hurts my
Still
heart.
stings, yep.
But I respect you and you're good.
Yep.
But if you lose to the team over here,
Yeah.
the little brother team that considers you a rival and you don't care about them and then you lose, that hurts.
That's get coaches fired. I will say this: if A&M and Texas had played in the last few years, I don't know that we don't see Tom Herman get fired earlier. If A&M beats Texas, I don't know. What do you think? 2 out of the last 3 years, does Tom Herman leave earlier? I don't know. But I think that's something to talk about.
That's a good question. How about this? Coming up, we got Michael Woodson of the Baylor men's tennis team, interim head coach for 2020-2021. Huge opportunity for him to step into that role, coach the team. One of the best teams in the Big 12. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the men win the Big 12, if the women also win the Big 12. They're both at the top of the preseason rankings. They're right at the top. And we got him coming up at 11:30. Also today on our Bear games, again, it's Terrence Williams and Danny Watkins squaring off in the Baylor second best bracket. And then James Lynch and Terrell Bernard. Which of those is closer to you?
I really like Terrell Bernard. Which of those is closer on Twitter?
Yeah, which is like a
which
man,
of those
that's
is
tougher.
closer?
Which is tougher?
See, I really think Terrell Bernard and James Lynch is tough because Terrell
think
Bernard's
so.
still there.
Yeah.
And I think Terrell Bernard's going to have an enormous season. He was going to have an enormous season this year.
If he wouldn't have got hurt.
I think that one's closer to me. Terrence Williams, and Twitter shows it as well, is sort of the obvious pick there for me. But that's just my take.
I concur. Also, T-Rex says, why is Bernard on the list? Are current players allowed? Yes, they are, because he was one of the...
Ebner's on there too.
Yeah. Both of those guys are top players, top 32 players the last decade. And so I 100% think that we did the right thing in giving them a nod to be on there. We're talking Michael Woodson up next on Up Tempo, the Baylor head tennis coach. I'm Drake Toll. That's Joshua
Dalton
Paquel. Yep. That's Armstrong Sims. This, Armstrong's Minute, is Up Tempo.
It was a busy Super Tuesday in college basketball last night with upsets across the country. Starting in the Big 12, number 6 Kansas fell to Cade Cunningham and unranked Oklahoma State, surrendering a lead with under a minute to go.
Intercepted by Bryce Williams, and Oklahoma State with a little showtime at the end. Win it over Kansas, 75-70.
Elsewhere, number 19 Duke lost to number 20 Virginia Tech on the road, 74-67. Unranked Kentucky lost to Alabama in Rupp Arena, 85-65. And number 7 Michigan blew out number 9 Wisconsin in Ann Arbor, 77-54. This was the third straight ranked win for the Wolverines by 19 points or more, the most such wins in college basketball. Elsewhere, Oklahoma beat TCU 82-46, and UNC snuck by Syracuse 81-75. While Baylor did not play last night, they weren't alone, as the virus has not only caused postponements for West Virginia's program, but now has temporarily halted Oregon and Vanderbilt's seasons. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84 and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Allen Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs, even offering financing if that's needed. Everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrap fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese, and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrap fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio. Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122. For your company's mass COVID testing, log on to ImpactHealthLabs.com.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Now, back to the Bears Den with Drake Toll and Jamie Pickell for the Blonde Boys Power Hour.
Let's go! It's the Blonde Boys Power Hour. Drake Toll alongside Joshua Dalton Pickell. I know, we're going to let it die down. You'll go back to JD soon enough, but right now I'm riding the high of knowing what your initials are. We've just now learned, and giving the sticker out to Dexter. Right now, special guest joins us on the, what are we going to call the guest line? Riverbend Liquor and Wine guest line?
Might as well
I like
be
that.
for now, yeah.
Michael Woodson, the head Baylor men's tennis coach, coming on with us. Coach, thanks so much for joining us today.
Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. Coach, here's where we'll start it. Season close to is it tipping off or what is serving off? Can we create a term?
First serve maybe?
First serve is coming up for you, and a new opportunity, an unexpected opportunity for you to step into this head coaching role that I'm sure you've embraced wholeheartedly. What we saw in what we saw in yesterday's press conference, you seem so excited to be in the role that you are. And again, how excited are you now to kick that off?
I'm thrilled. I mean, just more so for the players than anybody. It's just a great group of guys, very talented, experienced group with honestly a chip on their shoulders. I mean, I feel like it's a group of guys that have had great expectations for the last few years. They started to trend in the right way. Last year, I think, would have shaped up to be a really positive year, and got stopped short with some unfinished business. So there's a lot of guys back for that, as well as some new guys that I think are are just so excited to be a part of the program, so happy to be in this environment at Baylor with this group of individuals that they're just soaking it up. So I'm just so excited to see them all line up next to each other and get after it.
Coach, you mentioned it. Hot start last year, 13-3, 10-0 at home. How important and how crucial is it for you as a coach to emphasize winning at home?
I mean, I think we lost in 2018 sometime at home. I think to Texas was the last time we lost. The home court advantage is real. Here at Baylor, the guys love to play at home. The courts, the fans, they make such a huge difference for us. And it's a huge deal. We have so much fun being here and playing in front of the crowd in what I would say pretty strongly is the best facility in the country for collegiate tennis. And so, yeah, it's a huge privilege, and I think the guys take it very seriously. They play their best tennis at home for sure.
Coach, reading the press release here, men's tennis lands 8 in the ITA preseason rankings. That's in the country. That's out of everybody out there. When you see that, does that mean anything to you and your program?
I mean, I'm excited. I think there's certain guys that got their due that, are being honored for the level that they're bringing. We have practice in 30 minutes, and I promise you when I walk in, half of them will be upset. Here's more bulletin board material. They're counting us out. They're not giving us, what we should be. And I like that. I think, the guys are hungry. I think everybody knows that we have a really strong program, but I think they're going to be surprised when they see just how good these guys are and how hungry they are and how confident they are to play next to each other. I think there's a lot to be said for that.
Oh my gosh. That's
good.
That's sports chills right there.
I'm ready to rock.
Come on.
In a game that is in a lot of ways individual because you're not playing all at the same time, how important for you as the head coach to foster that environment, I guess, of cohesion and still keep that camaraderie and team environment in a sport that is tennis?
I think it's really important. I think we can do a lot of damage if we're not careful. It is a team sport. We are only as strong as our weakest link. So we need everybody at all times and more now than ever. There at any point we could lose, half the guys on the team. And, thankfully we've got a lot of depth and great talent here, but we need everybody engaged every day trying to make each other better. And so it's important for us to keep our focus on development and trying to improve a little bit each day. And, as we get older, I think, those guys start to realize how special the environment is and that they're playing for something bigger than themselves. And we just need to continue to foster that and be patient with the young guys as they kind of get used to it. A lot of the international guys are not used to playing on a team. Some of them don't even know the rules when they get to college for being in a dual match. And so we kind of help those guys, get used to it while putting the older guys in leadership roles where they can then thrive and really kind of, take the bull by the horns. So it's a lot of fun, but we have very important roles, especially as coaches with such a small team. We get to know these guys very, very well.
Coach, playing at Valparaiso, then being an assistant at the same school for a couple of years, now being at Baylor for 5 seasons, the head coach of the Bears, Michael Woodson, when you hear that, has that been your dream? Is this the destination job for you? Is this something that you want to be in for the next 5, 10, maybe even longer?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we look at our kids now. My wife and I were like born and raised in Waco, Texas. I didn't see that coming. But that's, we're as happy as we could possibly be. I mean, Valparaiso was an amazing place. I really enjoyed both playing there and coaching there. At the time, I thought this is it for me. We're going to lead this place to a national championship. And, that's kind of crazy if to say that to you probably, but that was our mindset there. We were going to build this thing, one step at a time until we won it all. And I mean, the AD even came and he took me out to lunch and sat me down and explained how that wasn't going to happen. Eventually it got to a point where, I wanted to settle down with my girlfriend, now my wife, and get married, have kids, and needed to financially be able to do that. And so, my goal was head coach at a Power 5 school by the time I was 30. ambitious, but I wanted to be in a position where I could make an impact at and with a platform that made a difference. And so certainly, got to Baylor, realized, my goals started to change a little bit. I realized God put me here for a reason. I thought I was coming here to settle down with my family and learn international recruiting, see if I hung at the level, if it made sense, because I felt like that at Valpo, but I wasn't sure what it would be like here, how different it was. And then when I got here, I realized there was so much more to it, so much of impact I could make here on these young men. And, I'm just became very happy being here at Baylor, working with these young men in this athletic department. It's at a university that I believe, has all the values and the morals that line up with my family and what I strive for. It's made me a better person. It's made my family better. And, I just thought I want to be here for as long as they'll have me. And so, it is a dream. I don't think about it that often. When you say that, I step back and think, wow, I was just a guy who wanted to play college tennis, one day. And then to play D1 for me was a dream come true. And then to coach was just fun. I don't look at it as a job. I look at it as an opportunity to impact young lives every day. And it's so much fun for me. I can't wait to wake up in the morning and get after it each day, whether it's pushing papers in the office or, taking out the trash or feeding balls. I love it.
Riffing on that, Coach, this is actually your second time being the head coach for the Baylor tennis program. You were the interim for about 10, 11 days. Was it that much sweeter when you got the call that, hey, this is your job for good after having been the interim for that short stint?
Yeah, it was, I felt prepared for it when I heard it. It was very shocking at the time, but I feel like I've been in this situation before, for better, for worse. And I just need to make sure that I tell my wife that we're good with the kids, and then I need to take care of the players. I need to make sure that they're okay. That was how it went down a couple of years ago. And, when I got the call this time, it was, I need to communicate with all those people. I need to get on the phone with the guys that are coming, the guys that aren't here. Everybody's going to be, surprised like I am, but I think we're all in this together. So yes, the few weeks or 2 weeks that I had in a couple years ago definitely prepared me more for this time.
So, and as the situation kind of unfolded this summer, when you found out that you would be in this position, what was the team's reaction to know that it was you, that you were staying with the program and going to commandeer this ship?
I think it was calm, and I think once they, kind of got over the initial shock, I think it made it easier because we were all surprised. So we were all in the same boat. We didn't really have a lot of information. It was like, okay, this is the situation. We're moving forward. We are tasked, whether we like it or not, with this, being in these new roles, and it's time to move forward. To keep the staff in place with Isaac and Jackie and, our support staff, I think made it a lot easier for the guys. It felt better than a couple years ago where everybody was in limbo. Who's coming in next? What are we going to do? And I don't know if they were just, happy to be able to move forward without too much change, or if they like me, you'd have to ask them. But they handled it with great positivity, extremely mature. Even the new guys, that was my biggest thing, was the grad transfers. Are they going to be okay? I know coaches started calling them, telling them that, don't go there, it's falling apart. And they handled it really, really well. And I think, we've really continued on a positive path ever since that day.
Coach, when I heard we were going to have you on, Drake told me the news. I had one question burning on my heart, and that was this. How difficult is it for you to not use an excessive amount of puns at practice with all of the tennis lingo, from love to ace? I mean, you name it. There's so many puns, and I love puns. How difficult is that for you?
I've never gotten that question before. I thought you were going to say, how difficult is it to not cuss? I would have said I'd do that anyway. Something like that. I am one to use a pun here and there, usually not on the tennis court. I'm pretty straightforward in practice, but I am one to make some dad jokes. I feel like I'm young, but I will grow into embarrassing my daughters for sure. So I do love a good pun. I'll have to think about some good ones around tennis. My best one is, and I've even pictured it. My guys were asking me the other day, is what does the fish say when it hit the wall? Damn, and now I have my wife bought me a picture of the two fish that are swimming into the wall, and it says damn. And my Romanian player Adrian goes, but what does that mean? And I'm like, damn, he doesn't know what it means in English. And they all just look at it and say, this is so stupid, but I think it's funny.
Coach, dare I say it, you aced that question.
Yeah, we love you, Coach. We love you. Come on. Yeah. We can do puns here on Up Tempo, Coach. If you that's our specialty.
That was strong effort.
Scotty B, the Baylor King, says, what components determine a singles lineup for you, especially with the depth and experience you have this season?
That's a great question. I mean, I think, in general, you play order of strength. And I think, we play fair. I think, we will put our guys out there, based on order of strength on the day. That gives us, the best chance to have success at every single position. That being said, I know one of the questions, are you going to flip a coin last night? I'm like, yeah, I mean, maybe. We just were talking about it, and it's hard to say. If we went straight off of the national rankings, I don't think it would do some of these other guys even justice that are here. I mean, we would feel very comfortable playing all the guys on this team, and but I think it's experience. I think it's what are their game styles. I think typically the guys at the top play a little bit more aggressive, and how do guys match up with those? So our aggressive players that maybe could have a little bit more ups and downs as far as their level will play a little higher, whereas the more consistent guys that maybe have a lower ceiling but a higher floor will play lower in the lineup. I think that's generally what you would see around the country. And the nice thing is we've got guys with high ceilings and high floors, so it's just trying to find that right combination, for what we're going to do day in and day out.
Obviously, no shortage of external expectations or pressure. What is the expectation within that locker room, within the program for this 2021 season?
They've got some high expectations. I mean, I don't think it matters what the coaching staff thinks. I think they're going to just carry us with them. We talked about it one time. We will win the national championship. That is their goal. And they will not stop until they get there. But that's it. We're not going to talk about it again. We're trying, we have to look at it like we have to get a lot better every single day in order to have a chance to do that. So our expectation is that we're going to go out, we're going to enjoy the day, we're going to do the best that we possibly can, and in time the results will take care of itself. But if you think that they're not looking at getting picked second in the Big 12 or nobody being ranked in the top 40, you guys are crazy.
Coach, we are big fans of Jerry Hill on this show, and he asked you a question the other day about who you would compete with in doubles tennis, who your partner would be. My question is, now we're flipping it to singles. Who are you not competing against?
Who am I not competing against?
Who are you not competing against? Who are you not even going to touch?
I mean, there's so many that I wouldn't play against. It's crazy. But, I think just to make it relevant to our team, a guy that would absolutely destroy me would be Nick Stakoviak. I've loved, when I was a player, I loved to serve volley and attack and get to net. And I mean, he'd pass me left and right. It would be a nightmare. So every time I watch him play, I think I'm so glad I don't have to go out there myself.
Wow. Coach, last couple questions for you here on this show. We play the Bear games every week and end our guest calls and callers with these questions. So we're doing the Baylor second best bracket, trying to nail down the second best football player of the last decade. So some of these guys may predate you a bit, but they're pretty big names. Who would win in the last decade, better Baylor football player, between Terrence Williams and Danny Watkins?
I would have to go with Terrence Williams.
Good pick.
James Lynch or Terrell Bernard?
Wow, that's a great question. Two terrific guys. I like Terrell Bernard. I think his heart is big.
I love it. And
he's still in Waco, too. He come get you.
Exactly. If you would have voted against him, how would it?
That is true.
So how you could add one school to the Big 12, which school would it be?
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
With no hesitation. I'm surprised you didn't say Valparaiso there, Coach.
Yeah, Valparaiso.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to take in the whole body of work. I just think from a competitive standpoint, from a regional standpoint, it's a shame that they're not in there. We haven't played them over the last 4 years, and so I'm happy that we're going to be starting to play them a couple times every year. It's just a shame. We should be playing them in all sports all the time.
I love it. I'll retweet that.
Yeah,
I'll retweet it.
I'm with that.
That's Coach Michael Woodson of the Baylor men's tennis program. Coach, good luck as the season ensues, and go kick some butt.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, guys. Always a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Appreciate you, Coach.
That's Coach
SicEm
Michael
Bears.
Woodson. SicEm Bears. Oh, man.
Bears.
I love it. I love
the
having
dad
coaches on
jokes,
the
too.
show. Yeah. The TAM.
And he just said, we will win the national championship.
He did.
And he said, make the mistake. We will win the national championship, but we're going to enjoy every single day and do the best we can.
It was
and I was like,
such a
let's
calm.
go.
That was a very calm, yeah, we're going to win the national championship. But, we can't think about that. We're just going to do it.
You imagine waking up every day and being like, I'm going to be the best at whatever I'm doing long term. But I'm going to
just
enjoy
stone
the day.
cold, but
Yeah.
humble in a way, too. But I know.
Yeah. It'd be like you and I walking in and be like, actually, I'm not going to touch that. I was going to say it'd be like us waking up and be like, I know we're going to be CEOs of SicEm365, but I don't think that's something
I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
think I want to touch
Colt,
that.
if you're out there,
I don't think
and
either
you
of us
want to
wanna
pass
touch
the
that.
torch, we'd be co-CEOs. Remember we talked about it yesterday. You
I
become
don't think
your
I'm qualified to be a co-CEO.
I'm Drake Toll. That's JD Piquel. That's Armstrong Sims. This is Up Tempo.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84 and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Allen Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs, even offering financing if that's needed. Everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrapped fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese, and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrapped fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Come on. Blonde Boys Power Hour. Call us 254-339-1122. We're playing the green and blank game. How about it? Listen, you call us right now. You win the green and blank game. I'll give you one of these. I'll give you one of these.
Wine tumbler.
Right here.
Someone texted
it is a wine tumbler. Gunny says
allegedly.
It is a wine tumbler.
Yep.
He added some more words in there that I cannot say over the air, but he said wine tumbler. That's what I got out of it. That's what it is. Wine tumbler today. We're giving it away. Call us right now. The first caller at 254-339-1122 will play the green and blank game, and if they win a wine tumbler. And let me tell you, I really, really hope that there's part of me that hopes that someone wins, but there's a bigger part of me that's like, what would this cost to ship?
Right.
That's the new thought that I have after shipping stuff out yesterday. But you know what?
If it's not a 254 area code.
For the love of the callers, for the love of the people that play these games. We have Sarah the Devil Bear says, great interview with Coach Woodson, and that's why I spend my lunch hour with y'all. Can't wait to see that tennis natty. Love it, and puns are welcome.
Thanks, Sarah.
How about it? Thanks, Sarah. That's the thing. Everybody, 11 to 2. It's the lunch hour. Right. You guys you're eating your lunch. You may not be able to stay on from 11 to 2. That's okay, though, because we are available in podcast form. Right, Armstrong? Oh, we got a thumbs up.
Thumbs up from the
We are available in podcast
I'm working
form.
on something else.
No, you're good. You do your thing, baby.
Up Tempo on, what is it? Up Tempo on Spotify or app, wherever you get your podcast.
We just got on Apple Music.
If you go to the local, what are those called? Morse code. It's a
ATM machine.
Nope.
Dude, I have no idea.
Shoot. What is it called? It's not a typewriter. What is it? Morse code.
Telegraph.
You go to your local telegraph store and you tell them, you say, I want Up Tempo. I want it on podcast. I want it. They'll give it to you. You can find it there. Sarah the Devil Bear is now calling in from Austin, Texas. Sarah, you're on with Up Tempo. She's trying to win one of these little wine tumblers. Sarah, are you ready?
I'm ready. Sick Bears.
Sick'em Bears. All right, Sarah. I'll explain the game. It's the green and blank game, meaning I'll say a word like green, and then, or green and you'd be like, oh, green and gold, right? So if I said, we'll give an example word. So if I said fire, we're not going to use any ands today. I think the ands make it a little bit easier.
Okay.
I say fire, then I would then say fire truck. JD would say fire
dance.
Fire dance. Armstrong?
Fire Herman.
Fire Herman. And then Sarah, you would say?
Fire Herman.
Fireball.
Fireball. Okay, so how we're going to do it, Sarah, I'm going to read these words. You're going to say your word. And then each of the hosts, we're going to go ahead and guess. I've got 9 words written down. If you can get half of these, if you can get half of them, so the way to get a point is to match with just one of the hosts. It's not that hard.
Okay,
it's not that hard. So if you can match with one of the hosts on 5 of the 9 words, you win a wine tumbler.
Based on that preliminary question, I think I know what's going in that wine tumbler.
Milk. Armstrong's milk. All right,
Fire.
Sarah. Are you ready to play?
I'm ready.
It's the green and blank game. Your first word is the word red.
Flag.
All right. Sarah said flag. What do you have, JD?
Hots.
Red hots. Armstrong?
Red hot.
Red hot. I had red robin.
Ooh, okay.
Red robin.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Sarah, the word is pickle.
Jar.
Pickle jar. JD?
Juice. Yeah,
Juice. I did
Me and
juice.
Armstrong had juice.
Here.
I had pickle ball.
Pickle ball.
Yeah.
I was thinking about pickle popsicle.
Okay. Sarah, the word is C. Or the letter. You could do like, I don't want to give anything away, but just C.
Dog.
Sea Dog. Sea Dog. JD?
D.
CD. Armstrong?
C Stat, like College Station.
I had Sea Turtle.
Okay.
All right, Sarah, there
okay.
are 6 left here.
Oh,
if you
boy.
can get 5 of these 6, you're walking home with a wine tumbler.
Dude, this game is hard.
If not,
Yeah, this game is impossible.
if not,
It's really hard.
it is.
Yeah, it is hard.
is.
It is hard.
It's tough to find something that everybody can find. But if worst case scenario, you're walking out of here with a free T-shirt. How about this though? E blank, Sarah. E blank.
Mail.
Email. JD.
E.T.
E.T.
Oh my gosh, I had email.
Oh, Armstrong and Sarah.
I saved you. I just saved you.
On the board for Sarah, I had esports.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, the next one. There are 5 left. Wall.
It's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Run.
What's
Wait, it's a one word, right?
it can be a phrase. It can be a phrase. If it's common, yeah, definitely use a phrase. But
hang on.
wall, your word is wall.
I'm not set yet, Sarah. Can it be? I don't know. I'm not going to ask that.
Run through.
Wall run. Sarah, did you just say wall run through?
That's mine. I don't even
Yeah,
care
like
what I
run
wrote
through
down.
the wall.
That's mine. I don't
Okay,
even care what
Sarah,
I wrote down.
I will
I'm
give
in.
you the studio.
I'm
I will
sold.
pack up the studio and
sold.
mail it to your house. If anyone else in the room has wall run through.
I was going to do wall burger.
Wall burger.
I had wall ball.
Wall ball. I had Walmart. You're overthinking it, guys. All right, Sarah. How about air? What? Air is the word.
I'm going with ball again.
There we go.
Air ball.
There
We
we
got
go.
JD
You had air
Paquel.
ball?
Also
Air ball,
got
baby.
air ball. I had air ball. Armstrong?
Airbuds.
Airbuds. That's
Cheeky.
terrible.
Cheeky.
Okay, 2 on the board, Sarah. You have table.
Tennis.
Yeah.
I had tennis.
I had tennis.
That
There we
is
go.
3 on the board with 2 left. If you can get these 2, both of these 2, you've got the wine tumbler. If not, we're giving it away again, either later this week or next week. White. The word is white.
Uni.
White.
Oh.
White uni?
White uni.
Yeah, the white uniforms.
Okay.
That's a cool one. I did hot.
Armstrong?
Christmas. White Christmas.
White Christmas. I had white walls.
Okay.
But Sarah, the game's not over. You called to play. You've got a free SicEm365 t-shirt headed your way. And the last question on here, can blank.
Like CAN?
Correct.
Like how? Okay. Can do.
Can do. I like that.
I like it.
I had canned soup, but can do is much more creative.
Can soup. Just
Can soup.
Armstrong?
Can
I had the
Can.
can.
Can
Can you do the can?
I had can do. But I tell you what, Sarah, you're walking away a winner still. We've got a free t-shirt headed your way. Drop in your address on the 254-339-1122 Riverbend Liquor and Wine chat line. It's headed your way. Thanks for playing today.
Okay, thanks, guys. SicEm Bears.
Absolutely. Sarah, thanks for your call. We can't get to the Bear games right now. Not a lot of time. We got Kyron Drones coming on the show. Drake Toll, JD Paquel, Armstrong Sims, Kyron Drones up next. We'll be right back after Armstrong's Minute and a quick break on Up-Tempo.
It was a busy Super Tuesday in college basketball last night with upsets across the country. Starting in the Big 12, number 6 Kansas fell to Cade Cunningham and unranked Oklahoma State, surrendering a lead with under a minute to go.
Intercepted by Bryce Williams, and Oklahoma State with a little showtime at the end. Win it over Kansas, 75-70.
Elsewhere, number 19 Duke lost to number 20 Virginia Tech on the road, 74-67. Unranked Kentucky lost to Alabama in Rupp Arena, 85-65. And number 7 Michigan blew out number 9 Wisconsin in Ann Arbor, 77-54. This was the 3rd straight ranked win for the Wolverines by 19 points or more, the most such wins in college basketball. Elsewhere, Oklahoma beat TCU 82-46, and UNC snuck by Syracuse 81-75. While Baylor did not play last night, they weren't alone, as the virus has not only caused postponements for West Virginia's program, but now has temporarily halted Oregon and Vanderbilt's seasons. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Don Humidor, you're home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don Humidor in the Townwest Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed. Put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
All right, welcome back into Up Tempo. It is the noon hour, and we have Kyron Drones joining us, Shadow Creek High School, four-star quarterback, Elite 11, my #1 recruit in the entire country. ESPN Top 300, throw it out the window. I got Kyron Drones #1 in the Drake Toll rankings, and that's all that matters. Kyron, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us today.
For having me.
Absolutely. All right, here's where we're going to start. Man, obviously, this offseason, COVID, and everything has looked so crazy. A bunch of Zoom calls with people trying to put stuff together. But for you, what does it mean at the end of this whole process? What did it mean to you to sign that dotted line and be a Baylor Bear?
Everything to me, knowing that it's finalized that I'm actually going to be a Baylor Bear at the end of the day, and just having that burden off my shoulders that it's just finally happening. Like it's set. Me and my family, we set, and I'm just happy to be done with it.
Absolutely. So for you, Kyron, when you looked at schools across the country, I mean, you had the pick of the litter, especially after how well you did at the Elite 11. I had plenty of people calling and saying, who is this guy? Where did he come from? He's lighting it up over here. Why Baylor in the end, though? What made it Baylor for you where you decided to land?
The coaches were showing love for me ever since they gave me that offer. And I think they offered me like April 20th. I committed on the 29th. The way they showed love to me, and then just talking to my parents, like it came down to my last two choices was Auburn and Baylor, and just being able to still play big time football, and my family can still see me playing and not be a big situation. So just having them see me play almost every game was just so real to me.
Yeah. So for you and Justin Johnson, it says here that you and Coach Johnson had some conversations coming in your recruitment. Was he the biggest coach, or was it somebody else on the Baylor staff that really made you think, I like these guys?
Him and Fedora, but mainly Coach Johnson, because he recruited me when he was at U of H, so we already had like a relationship, and then him and my dad are like close too. So they were just talking, and then Coach Fedora had a big impact on the team.
Yeah. So we talked to Cam Bonner on Monday, and he told us you've been doing some workouts with him and some stuff throwing around with him. What is how excited are you, I guess I should say, for this group of receivers that are signing with you in your class?
I'm really excited. I seen we got some dogs. Like, we got some coming in early with me, like Elijah B., Javon Gibson. Them two actually my roommates, so I got into throw with them like last week, also with Kim. And then the other people coming late in the spring, they're real good too. So I'm really excited just to get to know them, get to throw with them, and just be a part with them every day.
How about this, too? We're watching some highlights of your senior season here on Up-Tempo. Kyron Drones, Shadow Creek High School 4-star quarterback. When you think about your high school success, the state championship trophy, holding that up a couple years ago, I mean, was that a dream for you, being a state champion and having so much success in high school?
Oh, yes, for sure. I'm growing up watching all the state games every year, and just being able to go out there and actually compete for a state title. Not only my sophomore year, we didn't win it, but to win it my junior year, my first year starting, and for me and my father, like, that's his first state championship, winning it too. He's been 3 times, and he finally won it with me as a quarterback. That was just a real good feeling to me.
Yeah. So we got a question here that has been sent in on our SicEm365 forum page that asks, what do you excel at? So where is one area that you feel really, really confident in your game?
Being able to make plays no matter what, even if the play doesn't go like as it's supposed to, just being able to extend the play with my legs and just keep looking downfield and just making a play regardless.
And then on the back end of that, where is one area this offseason that you've really tried to work on your game? What's one part that you want to hone in and get better at?
I'm mainly just working on my, knowing, different coverages so I can read defenses more. That's what I really just been focusing on.
Alongside that, I know what a lot of athletes that have come on the show and talked to us about coverages and things of that nature. They've talked about how big coaching is in that and how helpful coaches can be to show you, hey, here's where the defense is lined up, here's what they're bringing at you. Now to have Sean Bell at quarterback coach, who played quarterback at Baylor, and Jeff Grimes at offensive coordinator, how much have you talked to those guys already, and are you excited about this staff?
I'm really excited about the staff. Me and Coach Bell, we've been talking ever since he got the OC job. He called me about 5 times already. And then I talked to Coach Grimes twice, and he was they're all just ready to meet me, ready to get up there, and I can't wait to meet them.
What do you know about Coach Grimes and his scheme and what he wants to do with you? Has he told you anything individually that says, hey, here's where we want to really implement you in this offense?
When we talk, it was really just mainly can't wait to meet you, can't wait to get up there and get up here and talk with you in person about all that stuff. So I was just being able to see what he did with Zach Wilson this past season and how he was almost a Heisman finalist, and he did really good this year. So I can't wait to be a part of his offense.
One of the things, Kyron, I have been on the Kyron Drones train for a year and a half now. So when people talk about, okay, who's going to be Baylor's starting quarterback next year, I'm lobbying for you. Know that this desk doesn't mean that much. They're probably not listening to me, but I've been lobbying for it for a long time. And when you look at the quarterback battle, there are 4 guys that are all great, great quarterbacks. What are you looking forward to in trying to duke it out with the other three and be Baylor's guy?
Just being able to do what I've been doing this whole time. Just Baylor says I'm their dude, so I just got to compete, go up there, start learning plays, learning coverages better than what I usually do, and then just going out there, having great days in practice, showing the coaches that I'm that dude, and just being able to keep doing what I've been doing.
Not only that, Kyron, is there a player on Baylor's team right now that you look up to or that you see and have really grown a relationship with?
The only player I have a relationship right now with is Seth, because Seth Jones is receiver. He was my receiver last year at Southern Creek. That's really the only player I got a relationship with.
Yeah. On top of that, how about this right here? If there's a player in college or the NFL that you look at and you model your game after, who would you compare yourself to the most?
In college, I look up to Justin Fields, and in the NFL, I look up to Deshaun Watson.
Justin Fields and Deshaun Watson. Last question for me here, Kyron. So I'm reading right here. The Heisman Trophy weighs 45 pounds. I had to look it up, but it weighs 45 pounds. What are the odds that you can lift 45 pounds pretty easily?
Very easy. If I ever get that chance, I'm going to lift it up like it's nothing.
He said, I'm going to lift it up like it's nothing. Oh, my goodness. I love it. Well, I tell you what, I told you, we've been lobbying for you here on this show, and I think that'd be probably the easiest 40 pounds you've ever picked up in your life.
I can't wait to finally get that chance of being able to just get out there, compete for a Heisman. If I ever get that opportunity, it's going to be such a real, man. I'm not going to know it.
Well, you guys heard it here first. If he ever gets the opportunity to win the Heisman, he's doing it. And I can see it happening. Kyron, thanks so much for coming on our show today. Had a couple audio issues there at the end, but love talking to you. I know there are a lot of people at Baylor that are really excited to get you in the uniform and on campus. We're excited to see you in a couple weeks and hopefully have you on the show again soon.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Kyron Drones, 4-star quarterback out of Shadow Creek. Thanks again for joining the show. Tell you what, Armstrong, how about that? I know we had a couple audio issues right there at the end, but geez, 45-pound Heisman. I don't know. It would be strenuous for me to lift that. I could try. But I tell you what, looking at him, his physique, and the kind of athlete that he is, whoa, I got that guy picking that thing up easy. Kyron Drones, 4-star quarterback, Shadow Creek, Baylor's next guy. He reminds me a lot. You talked about Deshaun Watson, that comparison. He reminds me a lot of RG3 in the way that he can run the football, throw the football, dynamic, dual-threat quarterback, 4-star, and again, had an insane performance at the Elite 11, which just shows the best quarterback talent in the entire country. So, I'm Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims. This is Up Tempo. We got Armstrong's Minute coming up, a quick break. And hey, here in about 15 minutes, we're going to talk to Todd Harbor, head track coach at Baylor University. This is Up Tempo.
It was a busy Super Tuesday in college basketball last night with upsets across the country. Starting in the Big 12, number 6 Kansas fell to Cade Cunningham and unranked Oklahoma State, surrendering a lead with under a minute to go.
Intercepted by Bryce Williams, and Oklahoma State with a little showtime at the end. Win it over Kansas, 75-70.
Elsewhere, number 19 Duke lost to number 20 Virginia Tech on the road, 74-67. Unranked Kentucky lost to Alabama in Rupp Arena, 85-65. And number 7 Michigan blew out number 9 Wisconsin in Ann Arbor, 77-54. This was the third straight ranked win for the Wolverines by 19 points or more, the most such wins in college basketball. Elsewhere, Oklahoma beat TCU 82-46, and UNC snuck by Syracuse 81-75. While Baylor did not play last night, they weren't alone, as the virus has not only caused postponements for West Virginia's program, but now has temporarily halted Oregon and Vanderbilt's seasons. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Don Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don Humidor in the Townwest Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed. Put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
All right. Bringing it back into the Up Tempo, Petty Clinic Low T, Bears Den, Drake Toll alongside Armstrong Sims. Just had Kyron Drones on the show. Man, couple audio issues we had to fight through. Texas Turtle Girl says, "What's happening, guys? Just got a moment to finally log on." Glad to have you, Texas Turtle Girl. She asked the question to Kyron on what he kind of models his game after, where he needs to improve. And I like what he said. Reading coverages. That's one of those things that, like, when I'm playing NCAA 14, which is significantly better in Madden, now I'm starting to learn that if people are running a cover 3, I can't throw to the tight end.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to say, put me in a situation where I'm a collegiate quarterback and I got to read coverages. NCAA 12, 14, those games have taught me everything that I need to know.
Oh, for sure.
I feel confident in that. Today's Bear Games question, if you could add one team to the Big 12, who would it be and why? I had Cincinnati in there. I thought Cincinnati was a pretty good answer. Texas A&M, that is, like, from a coach standpoint. I don't think any fans would say Texas A&M.
No, I don't care about the Texas A&M.
Right. I think that's a coach answer, though. Like, for a coach to be like, yeah, we want A&M because A&M's good. And, they are decent at a decent amount of sports.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's what I'll give them. So it would be competitive and good to have them. But also, I like the thought of a BYU coming in or an SMU or a Houston that just gets smacked for the first 5 seasons before they can finally put something together. Like Rutgers moving to the Big Ten, where it was like, all right, let's see what you do. And they've done nothing.
Yeah.
Finally starting to be better at basketball.
They're good at basketball, yeah.
They are. I like the thought of that, of having a team, a mid-major, come in and
I agree.
Getting smacked around for a couple of years, mostly because you would see Baylor win a significant amount of those in basketball, baseball, football. But I like Houston. You keep it in state with Houston and SMU. I would enjoy seeing those.
I was about to say, if I had to pick just two from a fan perspective, I would probably pick Houston and SMU. But, no one in the current Big 12 would want that because it hurt recruiting.
Right. It's convenient, makes it convenient and makes it easy. How about this, though? Also, speaking of recruiting, you see what Sark said yesterday? Which is like the most Texas thing to say in the world. We're going to check our up 10 polls if you have that. The most Texas thing to say in the world, he was like, I don't know if he said necessarily Texas is back, but it was a message to the Texas recruits that, like, this is your school. We are the state of Texas. I hate this.
Sorry, I had to play.
Please just keep playing it on repeat. We'll talk about that as So he said along the lines of Texas is your school for the recruits in the state of Texas, and that, it's not going to take them long to win a national championship, or as long as some might think. And that, again, that his message to the recruits in Texas was, come here. Yeah. We are your school.
Yeah.
This is where you need to be. So maybe that helps. If I'm a high school football player, it's like I've heard that before from the last three guys.
Yeah. Did he already land a recruit? Is that right?
I don't know. I try not to pay attention. I guess I should pay more attention.
Yeah,
this right here, though.
Do a show about it.
This video that we're playing right now on repeat. Chris Del Conte, the athletic director at Texas, shakes Steve Sarkisian's hand and then gives him what might be the most awkward man hug I've seen in my entire life. He shakes the hand and then he pulls him inward with the handshake. And so he does. I get like hugging a person, but Chris Del Conte takes his arms and wraps them around the neck of Steve Sarkisian. As he's coming to the look, Steve Sarkisian puts his hand on Del Conte's hip, like, get off.
That's weird.
Like,
I didn't notice that.
This is the single most awkward thing in college, in general, in the world the last few days. Texas cannot win for losing right now. Chris Del Conte giving the neck hug to Steve Sarkisian, the new head coach. You know what that says? That's the message of, like, please save us. We need help in football. You have come to win. I don't know. He won, what is his max wins? 8, 9 at a program at USC and Washington. I think USC and Texas are comparable. I do. I don't see, if Sarkisian coaches like he did at Texas and like he did at USC, then things aren't going to go that well. He's going to last 3 seasons.
We got Grayson coming in clutch with the recruiting stats. He says Sarkisian did land a recruit, a 2022 4-star wide receiver, Winfield, out of Louisville.
Nice. Grayson's coming in on that?
Grayson coming in clutch.
4-star wide receiver.
4-star.
2021?
2022.
2022. Okay, that's fine. Baylor's 2021 recruiting class is loaded with receivers. So I'll take Cam Bonner every day of the week. We got Matt and DC on the line talking the next team for the Big 12. You are on with Up Tempo.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I was watching that video. That is kind of weird. I didn't know that happened, but, whatever.
It's gross.
I'm not worried about that.
It makes me feel a way that I don't want to feel.
Yeah. Whatever. Hey, let them do their thing. We got to, regardless if they're hugging each other, we got to figure out a way to beat them consistently.
That's true.
That being said, I think we all got to realize that the Big 12 is never going to add another Texas team because it adds no television viewership. The Big 12 could drop Baylor, Tech, and TCU, and having Texas alone, you have the Texas market. So we got to think realistically of what we got to add. That being said, I think the best option, if I could choose any team right now, would probably be Nebraska, just because the fan base is rabid. I miss having them in the Big 12. I always wanted to go to Lincoln, never got a chance to. So as pissed off as they are at the Big 10, I don't think they'll leave just because of that $50 million they get every year. And if we can't get Nebraska, I think a close second will probably be Cincinnati and give them a little time to work, and they'll. As same with TCU when they came in 2012, the first 2 years were tough, but as long as they, give them time to adjust, just like any mid-major, like I think Boise State would do good in the Power 5 too, as long as they keep investing in the program. So I think Nebraska would be the best team to add.
I like that. Not to mention, you've got Nebraska's not that great at very many things. Like they're okay, they're mediocre at a good amount, but I wouldn't be intimidated by Nebraska coming in. I'd be more intimidated by A&M. But I like that. The brand of Houston, the brand of SMU is not going to match. You can't bring Texas State and UTSA in either. That's just laughable. But I like the Nebraska pick. I'm not scared of that too, Yeah.
The biggest thing Nebraska failed to realize is that when they were in the Big 12, they were at the seat at the head of the table with Oklahoma and Texas. When they opened the meeting room, everybody stood up when Nebraska walked in. Okay. Yeah. Now when you go to the Big Ten, you stand up when Ohio State and Michigan walks in. They run the show. It's their conference, and they failed to realize that. And so you were a player. It's better to be a player in a smaller conference, or like maybe the Big 12, than it is to now you're not running the show anymore. Nebraska ran things in the Big 12. They were competitive and great. But then once the competitive balance came in, because they were the first ones to have the best strength and conditioning programs, and once everyone caught up to them, then it kind of got balanced out, and they lost their Texas recruiting.
Yep.
You know, that's Nebraska used to recruit heavily out of Texas. So once they went to the Big Ten, and when Ohio State says, you know, jump, you say how high, because they run the show, as we see. So that's the deal. If they can get over that and come back to the Big 12, they'd probably be competitive again.
Wow. I'm lucky we don't have to compensate you for this analysis and call. Thank you for bringing that content to the show today, Matt in D.C. Let's play some Bear games, yeah?
Yep.
Terrence Williams or Denny Watkins?
He will all day.
All day. James Lynch, Terrell Bernard.
Going with James Lynch because he's the sack leader.
I like it. And you said Nebraska for your added Big 12 school. Thanks so much for your call, Matt in D.C. Always love having you on.
Thank you.
All right, Matt in D.C. We got Jack Wheeler and Steven from Virginia on the line. You guys got to hold tight. We're hitting a break right here. We got Todd Harbor, the head Baylor men's and women's, the head Baylor track coach. Todd Harbor is coming on with us. So you guys hold tight right there, or call us back here in about 15, 20 minutes. We got Todd Harbor up next. This is Up Tempo.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like First Free Checking, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Bird Culchin Ford has been in Waco since 1936. Ford, the #1 selling truck in Texas, 43 years running. And Bird Culchin Ford proudly supports high school football in Central Texas. And no better way to tailgate with a Ford than from Bird Culchin Ford. And are there better vehicles to tailgate with than the Ford F-150 or the Ford Expedition? And of course, you can get them new, pre-owned Bird Culchin Ford. Our sponsor of the Ford Tough Player of the Week, locally owned dealership. Online at bkford.com at 1701 West Loop 340 in Waco. Bird Culchin Ford.
The holidays are here, and I have a simple question for you. Will you weigh as much more or less than you do right now when the holidays are over? Why not end the year in better shape than when you started and create momentum for 2021? Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness has numerous options for stocking stuffer gifts with gift cards for gym or tennis membership, fitness merchandise, tanning, massage, tennis lessons, and personal training. Perhaps a gift for a client, a family member, or a friend. You just need to walk through the front door to change your life. Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness with personal trainers Christy London and Randall Corley. 40-plus group exercise classes, including twice-a-week boot camp. Spacious, clean workout room, free weights, Cybex cardio equipment, and no intimidation. A tremendous camaraderie and family atmosphere. So get the best and healthiest Christmas gift you can for someone or yourself. It's time to react today, not tomorrow, at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lake Shore Drive in Waco.
Learning to navigate life in the COVID-19 world has been a struggle, and where and how to get tested has been one of the biggest challenges. Impact Health Labs has your answer. If you need mass testing for your office, church, dormitory, or school, Impact Health Labs is who to call. They will come to you, conduct the testing at your location, and have the test back within 24 hours. Most major insurance accepted, meaning your out-of-pocket cost is low. So no more waiting by the phone for days to find out the results. Impact Health Labs was founded by 3 Army licensed and credentialed medical professionals professionals. They believe in accuracy, efficiency, and doing the job right. Call 254-744-6233 to set up your group screening today. Impact Health Labs, on-site, prompt, and accurate, taking COVID-19 head-on. Again, that number is 254-744-6233 or online at impacthealthlabs.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
All right, bringing it back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I am Drake Toll alongside our producer Armstrong Sims. Today we got a full guest list, a full slate, and this guy is a part of it. Coach Todd Harbour of the Baylor track and field team. Coach, thanks so much for joining us today.
Good to be here, Drake. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, Coach, here's where we'll start. Baylor's track and field program across, spanning back since the beginning of time, has been so storied and one of the best in the country. Baylor is up there. And now you, being a part of that, 16th season as a head coach, you're the successor of the legendary Clyde Hart. And to be in that chair for 16 years, you can't ask for anything better. It keeps continuity in the program, and it's unbelievable what you guys have been able to do and continue from his tenure as the Baylor head coach. Just how impressed are you and happy are you with the state of Baylor Baylor track and field?
Well, Drake, it's an honor and a blessing for me as a Baylor grad to be obviously be in this chair, to have the kind of legacy in front of me from not just Coach Hart but Coach Patterson. I guess I'm one of 3 head coaches in Baylor track and field history, so that's obviously something I think about, and it's an incredible honor just to the young men and women that I've been blessed to coach and coaching right now currently, and so yeah, it's special. It really is. Track and field has held their own here for a long time, and started back even before I came to Baylor in 1977. So we've been doing it a long time and trying to represent the university as well as we possibly can, and we'll continue to do that this year. I'm excited about this season. It's a challenge, no doubt, as it is for all of our programs here right now, but challenges are what track and field athletes are all about every day, and so we know that we got some challenges that still lie in front of us, but we're excited about. We haven't competed since last February, and so we're excited about the opportunity.
Coach, before we delve too far into Baylor track and what your season's going to look like this year, we had some John McDonnell talk on the show yesterday as we were talking about the greatest collegiate coaches of all time. And these two guys, my typical partner J.D. Piquel and Armstrong Sims, had never heard of John McDonnell. How big of a disgrace is that?
Yeah, that's a pretty big one. I got to be honest on that one. That's a pretty big one because John was obviously, one of the greatest of all time NCAA coaches, the national titles that he won there at Arkansas. And so it was, definitely he's one of those names when you talk about great collegiate coaches. John McDonnell needs to be way up there at the top of that list.
Another one of the questions that we had, again, before we get too far into the Baylor program and this year, J.D. Piquel, again, my typical host, was asking yesterday about the strategy that goes into track and field, trying to compare it to football and which sports have more strategy than others. And I don't even know. He was going on some kind of tangent. But what is the strategy, the toughest stuff, the X's and O's that go into track and field?
That's a good question. I don't know that I've ever been asked that question. And, being an old football coach, one of the things that I missed about football, being a football coach, was, staying engaged all the way up until the time of the game, through the game. I always called my plays as a head coach. I was an offensive coordinator and was a defensive coordinator. And, just being engaged as a former athlete, staying engaged, knowing that, you being mentally ready all the way was a big deal. If you weren't, then your team might suffer. In track, it's more about what you've done beforehand to get them there. On meet day, pole vault, high jump, long jump throws, you may have, you got some coaching to still do there. The rest of us, we have a little bit to do on meet day, but it's more about the preparation, getting them there. And then if there's the strategy of how do you get ready to compete at the high level when it counts. And that's a big part of track and field, is being able to Coach Hart never liked the word peak, but I would say bring your very best when it counts, whether that's the NCAA meet. And the challenges for us is we've got so many major competitions, indoor and outdoor, NCAA's, Big 12 championships. So your athletes have to be ready to bring it at a high level quite a few times during the year. And that's always a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah. Coach, looking at it here, you oversaw 7 student athletes who are in All-American honors last year alone before just the bottom fell out with COVID and everything that happened to you and your program. Like you said, you haven't competed since last February, and now you're going to see your team back in action. How different is this meet going to look this weekend with COVID and the protocols you guys are following?
Well, as you can imagine, just from watching football and basketball already, soccer, volleyball, I mean, it's definitely a lot. Our cross country had the opportunity to compete this fall, and so it's a lot different. Warm-up area, they're going to ask the student athletes to wear their masks the entire warm-up. We warm up in a big indoor football facility there at Lubbock this weekend, and so that's going to be a little different. Warming up with the mask on, stretching with the mask on, not taking that mask off until literally you go to the start line or the event starts. So that's going to be a little different. How we travel, where do we eat at, how do we eat, our meals. Those are all big things to try to avoid COVID, avoid the spread of COVID, and then avoid the contact tracing is obviously a big deal too. So those are all things, long meetings. Our trainers and our medical staff, the job they've done is, it's absolutely amazing. And so the message to our athletes is, guys, let's be humble and thankful. And we don't know what the future is going to hold, what next week's going to hold. But you know what? If we get a chance to compete this weekend, let's be thankful and go do our very best and celebrate the fact that we are competing in the midst of a pandemic.
Yeah. We had a couple questions here about kind of along those lines with COVID and how you and your team are preparing for that. So Garland Bear 84 asked the question, when you got runners in distant races in a tight pack, is that a worry or a concern for you, or these athletes, have they already been tested for COVID and tested negative?
Good question. Garland Bear's always got some good questions. We're under two tests a week right now, so we're obviously testing our athletes on a regular basis. But, the rule is within 6 feet, 15 minutes combined. So most of our distance races aren't going to be 15 minutes. So when you're looking at contact tracing, I think we're okay there. I'm pretty sure we are in a race. The COVID and the spread of it, you hope that all of us are under the same Big 12 protocol. We can't go to the meet. So you hope that there's nobody there that's anywhere close to having COVID, but there's always that chance. And so I'm not sure about if I can answer that 100% emphatically that person in the distance race won't be able to contract COVID. I just don't know if I could answer that one, Drake, 100% emphatically. That's a good question.
I think there's a lot. There's still a lot in limbo or up in the air looking at this season outside of track too, in every sport, the questions that can be asked.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, but to know that you guys are still getting to go out and compete is monumental, especially in a sport like track where there's so many moving parts and cogs that have to go for this thing to happen. For you, though, and your team from a performance standpoint, what do you got coming in this year with your squads, and how much talent are these teams loaded with?
Well, I'll start with our men's team, and obviously you start with Casey Lightfoot, who we had on yesterday, I believe. Casey he's ready to jump something crazy this year, and we're excited to see what he can do in the vault. And he would have been one of the favorites to win it last year at Nationals, and so we're excited for him. But our men's 4x4, we've got a few of our top athletes. When you have 2 seasons like we do indoor-outdoor, the NCAA gave our athletes the outdoor season back last year, but they didn't give them their indoor season, even though they didn't get to compete at Nationals. So we've got 3 of our top athletes on the male side that don't have an indoor season. So we're going to kind of have to wait on them till we get outdoor. So that definitely impacts us a little bit on the men's side. We have a couple that graduated early. Jalen Seals and Riley Richards graduated early. Those were 2 of our big ones from last year. And because of COVID, Jake Merrill graduated early. And I think COVID definitely had an impact on their decision to not come back and use their season of eligibility and just move on. And so our men's side is not quite as strong as we'd like it to be. We will be in another year. Our ladies side is really strong. We've brought in a really good group on the women's side to go with a group of seniors that we had last year. So we think our women's group may be as good as we've had. And we're excited to see what they can do from Tuesday Tidwell and the pole vault. She was one of the top 3 in the country last year. Alex Madlock had one of the top jumps in triple jump. Aaliyah Miller was sitting number 2 in the 800 last year going into the NCAA meet. We redshirted her. by redshirting her last year and not competing her at conference, that would have been the only meet she competed in because she ran 202. That would have knocked her out this year. And instead, now she's got 2 indoor seasons back this year and next year because this one doesn't count. And we've got a great 4x4. We got Aria Minor, who transferred in from Georgia. She was one of the top sprinters in the nation coming out of high school. Kira Nugent as a world youth record holder in the hurdles. We're anxious to see what she does this week in the 60 hurdles. And then I'm leaving out some on the women's side. We've got a great group of ladies, probably maybe the number 1 class in the country that came in to join us. They've got to grow up pretty fast, but we feel pretty good about both teams being top 10 at nationals this year and maybe higher. And hopefully we'll have a good showing at the Big 12 meet as well.
For you too, this right here, breaking news about an hour ago. I'm sure you've seen it, this on Twitter. 2021 NCAA Track and Field Indoor Championships will be over 3 days, March 11th to the 13th at the Tyson Track Center in Fayetteville, Arkansas. The new schedule, all that coming out. When you see that, what are your first thoughts?
Well, that's good. Thank you for bringing that to my attention because I've been in meetings the last couple hours and I haven't actually seen. I don't have a Twitter account, so you break it. So I have to. I usually get my news a little bit slower, Drake. So that's good news. I think anything that we can do to mitigate and to try to keep the athletes from not being too many at one place at one time, I think is all that we're doing now and planning. And indoors, I think once we get outdoors, it's going to be a whole different world. But indoors, we're going to have to do things like this. And so I haven't looked at the schedule yet, but I'm guessing it'll be a huge blessing for our athletes to have an indoor schedule spread out over 3 days. Absolutely. I don't think it'll be anything negative for us. I think it'll be a positive.
Absolutely. And then narrowing it down to Casey Lightfoot, who came on with us yesterday and talked about his pole vaulting career at Baylor and how he's right there on the cusp of breaking the collegiate record and said that it's coming soon. It could very well be coming soon. For a guy like that, is he just an absolute specimen at pole vault? I mean, it's unbelievable, his numbers.
It is, Drake. He's fun to watch. He got a great attitude. He's a fierce competitor. Pole vaulters sometimes can be a little bit, I've roomed with pole vaulters. I've got great friends that are pole vaulters. I coach them, so I don't think they mind me saying this. It can be a pretty mental deal. Casey's mental approach to the vault is about as good as it comes, I've seen. And Brandon, Coach Richards, has done an amazing job with him. He handles him very well. When to jump bars, when to pull out, when to say enough's enough. Those are all things that there's a lot of conversation between those guys. Where do you come in at? There's definitely some strategy involved in the vault, and I think Coach Richards and Casey have a great relationship, and they've just done a great job together. So yeah, there's nothing he can't accomplish this spring. So we're excited to see what he can do.
Wow. And Coach, for you looking forward with both of these programs, how close are these teams, the men's and the women's side, are you to taking home a national championship?
As we talked about our men, with not having the guys that we will have outdoor, I think we're a little bit further away on the men's side than I would like us to be. And we'll get those guys back out for outdoors, and that's going to help a lot. The women's side, we're not that far away. We're a lot closer now with this freshman class that we signed and a couple transfers that we can be. We've been as high as 7th just a few years ago. We just needed a couple more big ones, and now we have them there. They've just got to be able to step up. We got to stay healthy, and they've got to be able to step up. And the group that won the Big 12 in 2017, that was a pretty loaded group. And this group here has that kind of talent. But we got to go out and compete. We got to see what we can do, and hopefully we've got the attitude and what we need to through this COVID to be able to bring it at a high level.
Wow. How about this? 10 national champions as a head coach that you have coached, 10 national champions, 200 All-American performances, 92 Big 12 conference champions, 59 individual, 33 relay. Coach, a storied career here at Baylor and an unbelievable, the honors just go down the list. Unbelievable. And we really are blessed to have you. And I'm sure you hear it often. And I just want to reiterate how blessed we are to have you as a track coach.
Thanks, Drake. Appreciate you having me on. And I feel equally as blessed to be here. So it's an honor for me to serve Baylor and this university. It's changed my life. The Lord used Baylor and the people here to shape me forever. So I wouldn't be here without that.
Absolutely. Now, I tell you, we've got Bear games too, Coach. We can't get you out of here without having a little bit of fun and taking it away from track. But we got the Baylor's second best bracket, 32 players, second best football player of the last decade. Because, if we put RG3 in there, it just wouldn't be fair. How about this? Today's matchups. Who's better out of Terrence Williams or Danny Watkins?
That's a tough one. T. Williams or Danny Watkins. Man, that's a tough one. Put me on the spot there. Golly.
I'll tell you this. Coach Michael Woodson said Terrence Williams. So your out is to say you're going to go with Coach Woodson's gut and just go T-Will.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're comparing stats. You're comparing career, longevity. I mean, that's a good one. I'll go with T-Will, but I don't think I'd be wrong going with Danny Watkins either.
I don't think you could. This one right here is it's the same way with James Lynch or Terrell Bernard.
Oh, wow. Man, God, that is a tough one. Wow. I love watching both of those guys play. Oh, man, you put me on the spot. Golly, that's a tough one.
I'll tell you this.
Give a little love to James. I'll give a little love to James on that one. I love watching Terrell play linebacker. He's incredible, but I'm going to give a little love to the DN.
Coach, here's the problem. James is still in the weight room. You guys are going to – Terrell's still in the weight room. You guys are going to cross paths, and he's going to know.
Yeah, he's going to get after me. Yeah. I was here with Mike Singletary and Terry Teagle, both great friends of mine from back in that day. So I got to see some pretty good linebacker play, but Terrell's he's special. He's something else.
How about this, too? If you could add one school to the Big 12, who would it be and why?
Man. They've already I've already been in the Big 12 or somebody that hasn't been in the Big 12?
No holds barred. You could add Towson if you wanted to.
Well, I think A&M needs to be back in the Big 12. That's my opinion. I would love to see A&M back in just for the rivalries and how much we compete against them already. But that's just me.
Michael Woodson said the exact same thing. Great minds think alike. Coach Todd Harbor of the Baylor Track and Field Program, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Good to be here.
Absolutely. Hope to talk to you again soon, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Drake.
All right, bringing it back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I'm Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims. We got Armstrong's Minute coming up. Jack Wheeler is on the line to talk about the next Big 12 team that he would put in. Jack, we got to hit a break, and we'll come right back to you. I'm Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims. How about a little bit of Armstrong's Minute? A quick break, and we'll be right back on Uptempo.
It was a busy Super Tuesday in college basketball last night with upsets across the country. Starting in the Big 12, number 6 Kansas fell to Cade Cunningham and unranked Oklahoma State, surrendering a lead with under a minute to go.
Intercepted by Bryce Williams, and Oklahoma State with a little showtime at the end. Win it over Kansas, 75-70.
Elsewhere, number 19 Duke lost to number 20 Virginia Tech on the road, 74-67. Unranked Kentucky lost to Alabama in Rupp Arena, 85-65. And number 7 Michigan blew out number 9 Wisconsin in Ann Arbor, 77-54. This was the third straight ranked win for the Wolverines by 19 points or more, the most such wins in college basketball. Elsewhere, Oklahoma beat TCU 82-46, and UNC snuck by Syracuse 81-75. While Baylor did not play last night, they weren't alone, as the virus has not only caused postponements for West Virginia's program, but now has temporarily halted Oregon and Vanderbilt's seasons. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Uptempo.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
It It takes time to reach goals. It's a truth that applies to more than sports. It goes for your financial goals as well. You work hard for your money, and you deserve an investment strategy that lines up with your game plan. And Tom Albers, your Edward Jones financial advisor, can help. If your financial investments aren't putting forth the effort you desire, stop by today for a financial review. Tom Albers, 4301 Lakeshore Drive, 254-776-7605. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Born in Waco, Brotherwell Brewing exists to serve the Central Texas community with locally crafted beer of the highest quality. They want to bring Central Texas closer to the brewing experience so everyone can enjoy well-made beer as much as they do. For 2.5 years, they've been bringing high-quality beer to Central Texas at their location on Bridge Street in East Waco. And this football season, you need to stop by on game day for curbside pickup or stop by their tent next to SicEm365 at Brazos Parking for your pregame refreshment. Brotherwell Brewing believes in community and bringing people together to enjoy products made in their community. So for your game day, whether it's a tailgate or at home, stop by Brotherwell Brewing for high-quality craft beer made right here in Central Texas, 400 East Bridge Street, and check them out online at brotherwell.com.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jeweler, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs, too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store.
Car has the trucks, man. They have the one for you. Crew cab, short or long bed, silver, black or blue. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, he has the truck for you. Carr has the trucks, man. He has the truck you need. If you want the best truck, you want a GMC. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, they have the truck for you.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
All right. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's a big Wednesday on Up Tempo today. How about the guest list so far? Kyron Drones coming on, Todd Harbor of the men's and women's track program here at Baylor, 16-year tenure head coach, and also Michael Woodson. Up next is Ryan McGuire at 105. Head volleyball coach. They have been named the number 6 team preseason in the country. Number 6 in the country. Now we got our father, Jack Wheeler, on the line talking Big 12. Jack, welcome on Up Tempo.
Great. Good to hear from you, man. Honestly, there's 2 teams that I would want the Big 12 to pick, and that's BYU and Memphis.
Okay. But here's the deal. Bringing in, and you can pick anybody here. So picking a Power 5 school is legal. But bringing in a BYU and a Memphis, you don't necessarily, especially with Memphis, get a big brand name in that.
Well, that's fair. But, I mean, here's my reasoning for it. In Memphis, that's where the headquarters of FedEx was. And back a couple of years ago, whenever there was talk about Memphis maybe joining the Big 12, FedEx was ready to be like, hey, Big 12, we will do huge sponsorship offers because, the name of the game in college athletics is money. True. And that's just borderline. And they were willing to do that. And I thought, well, that would make sense if the Big 12 wants to get more dollars to spend for revenue and whatnot. For BYU, the main reason why I want it is because I want the legendary football name matchup, the Baptists versus the Mormons.
I like that. I like that. Well, are you referencing TCU and BYU? Because that would also. Wait a second. Is TCU, are they affiliated?
No.
Because I know that they left like the Christian thing. Like
that's a joke.
So yeah, I Texas Christian. I know they're not like a technical Christian school anymore. Were they Baptist at one point? Anybody?
I'm not sure about that.
Huh. Wow.
Let's see.
They might have been. I'm not sure, but yeah, I like.
Not Texas Central University.
To your point, though, Mormons and the Baptist. I like the Holy War, the TCU Baylor. I feel like we should repopularize calling TCU Baylor the Holy War. Am I alone in that?
You're alone.
I thought it.
I like
You're alone.
Yikes. All right, Jack Wheeler, our father. Let's play some Bear games, yeah?
Let's do it.
All right. Terrence Williams, T-Will, or Danny Watkins, D-Watt?
T-Will.
All right, T-Will. That one's a blowout. James Lynch or Terrell Bernard?
Well, I want to go James Lynch, but I'm going to pick Terrell Bernard because I sat right next to him in health, and the guy's a good guy.
He is a good player. He is a good dude. Very good player. I think after this season, he will likely pass up James Lynch, especially if he wins the Big 12 Player of the Year, then definitely. But as it sits right now, James Lynch is going to win that one, as I think he should. But, credit and props to Terrell Bernard for what he's done already, and he's still got a year left. Or 2 with the eligibility. He may have 2. Because this year doesn't count, and he was a junior. So maybe, hey, he could go smashing records. Jack Wheeler, thanks so much for your call.
For sure, dude.
All right, I'll talk to you soon, though, Jack. Man, love having that guy on. Him, Stephen from Virginia, I hold in like that same regard as just like the consistent, everyday guys that we love to have on. Got this from Garland Bear 84. TCU was founded by the Disciples of Christ Church. Huh. You would have beaten me in that quiz. Speaking of, remember that. That may come up on a quiz here pretty soon. How about Coach Ryan McGuire is coming on with us next, alongside the rest of you. We've had a lot of good interviews with head coaches in the last week or so, Armstrong, across the programs here at Baylor, including Michael Woodson earlier today, firing me up. Todd Harbor coming on, talking track and field. And then Kyron Drones, Baylor recruit, 4-star quarterback out of Shadow Creek. I think he is going to be a dude in a Baylor uniform. I don't know if it's next year. I don't even know if it's the year after that, but Kyron Drones is going to be he's the quarterback of the future, especially with how well he performed against the best competition in the country at the Elite 11. Today in our Bear games, we are asking who would you add to the Big 12 if you could have a team come in. Later on in the show, we're also talking national championship and why it's on a Monday and if it needs to stay on Monday, because I say nay. I say we need to probably not have that game on a Monday because it just makes things complicated. On top of that, you also have discussion over Michigan. Their basketball team will break down more of the Oklahoma State and Kansas game from last night. Other scores from across the country as Oklahoma knocked off TCU in emphatic fashion. Speaking of that, I'm rambling about it. Let me have Armstrong tell you about it. Armstrong's Minute Quick Break right back. Ryan McGuire, head Baylor volleyball coach, team is number 6 in the preseason, is going to join the show. This is Up Tempo.
It was a busy Super Tuesday in college basketball last night with upsets across the country. Starting in the Big 12, number 6 Kansas fell to Cade Cunningham and unranked Oklahoma State, surrendering a lead with under a minute to go.
Intercepted by Bryce Williams, and Oklahoma State with a little showtime at the end. Win it over Kansas, 75-70.
Elsewhere, number 19 Duke lost to number 20 Virginia Tech on the road, 74-67. Unranked Kentucky lost to Alabama in Rupp Arena, 85-65. And number 7 Michigan blew out number 9 Wisconsin in Ann Arbor, 77-54. This was the third straight ranked win for the Wolverines by 19 points or more, the most such wins in college basketball. Elsewhere, Oklahoma beat TCU 82-46, and UNC snuck by Syracuse 81-75. While Baylor did not play last night, they weren't alone, as the virus has not only caused postponements for West Virginia's program, but now has temporarily halted Oregon and Vanderbilt's seasons. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84, and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Allen Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs, even offering financing if that's needed, everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrapped fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese, and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrapped fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or wacocustommarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
All right, welcome back into Up Tempo. It's a big time Wednesday. Guest list is loaded today, and this guy is a part of why we are joined by Baylor's head volleyball coach Ryan McGuire here on Up Tempo. Coach, thanks so much for coming on with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. So you got like the beard scruff going on right there? Is that like stylistic choice? Where did that come from? Walk us through that to start.
It keeps me warm in the winter. My kids are a big fan. Wife, not so much. But, you know, when you're living and doing work from home longer than expected, you can kind of get away with it.
So 3 kids, 1 wife. If the kids are all on board with it, that ratio right there looks like you're probably not in the doghouse yet.
Not yet. I can go back and forth now.
Oh my goodness!
I'm not going to go James Harden big. Just the
Ryan Gosling. Just the Ryan Gosling scruff is what you're looking for.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Coach! For you coming out of this fall season, there are people and analysts that I've seen that have questioned: did the fall season really mean anything? Did it matter? What did that serve for collegiate volleyball? What are your thoughts on the games that you guys were able to play in the fall?
Well, I think, volleyball is just a small part of the big picture always for us at Baylor, and specifically with volleyball. So life matters and people matter, and growing and getting better matters. So it definitely mattered for us because it was a great opportunity to train, play matches, and the matches are there to test you. So it should carry some weight. I know our championship won't be until April. But, it's just kind of an early testing ground. We kind of reverse season, did conference first. We'll do non-conference here in the back half. But anytime you compete, it matters. And, our goal is to know one way to play. So it definitely mattered to us.
Walking into this season, this new season now in spring, with the chance to compete for a national championship, with everything kind of flipped around, how different, and I know this is a loaded question, but how different is it to just have the whole volleyball world kind of flipped on its head?
It is very different for these athletes. And, normally you come back after Christmas, there's a little bit more downtime. And you spend the spring working on individual skills before you jump into the team game. So we have to modify that. I coached men for almost a decade, and so the men's season was always in the spring, which I really liked because you can kind of lay that foundation in the fall, and then you really go to work in the spring. So for me, it kind of feels like that, like I'm coaching a men's team again, where it's the excitement right after the holidays. It's a brand new year. And, what we do all the time is important, but really what we're going to do here in early January, early February is really going to make a bigger difference and impact on how this season finishes off.
And for you, Coach, being at Baylor and with this program, this dates back pre-COVID and just your time with the Bears. First season, 7th in the Big 12, 4th in the Big 12, 2nd in the Big 12, 2nd in the Big 12, and then Big 12 champions last season. That progression, building this program, how proud are you of what you and your staff have been able to do at Baylor?
Well, you mentioned the staff. I'm very blessed to have a very, very incredible staff, and they've been with me from start to finish. And, you see a lot of turnover in a lot of programs year in, year out. We've really been able to keep the same core group of people. So Coach Jason and Sam have been phenomenal. The addition of Kellyanne, Shelby as our volunteer, and then Ben this past year really takes a lot off my plate and lets us be expert in each of those areas. And then really it was the girls, even those girls that were on, some of those girls on that 7th place team in year one that did make the decision to buy in and press forward. And then they got to be part of a team that would go to postseason and finish a lot tighter. So very blessed and thankful that God's brought us some great, great athletes with, again, good talent, but also just an incredible character that's just kind of multiplies towards each other.
Moving up to that and fast forwarding to this year, when you look at your most recent recruiting class and what you guys have been able to do even in the last few seasons with graduate transfers and true transfers, what does your recruiting class look like this past year, and where are you from a transfer standpoint?
Recruiting class, I feel like we hit a home run. We have players in every position that I feel are going to be impact, that are future All-Americans for us. It's, we're really entering the time where you're going to have great, great people on the court, more than just 6. And it makes our practices so good so we can compete. This year we're excited about Presley Anderson's coming in from Cal. She led the Pac-12 in hitting percentage. And, we're looking forward to see what her offense can bring to us out of the middle. Having graduated Shelley a year ago, our middles did great this past fall, but she's just going to be another weapon for this immediate spring. And if we're jumping into the fall, we got 5 other girls that are coming here in January and a couple others that'll be joining them as well this summer.
Would you say, being at Baylor, I know you've been at a couple different stops before, being at Baylor, that it is easy to recruit here because of the school, that the school itself brands itself well, has the facilities, and gives you the opportunity to recruit well just from the school standpoint?
It's great to recruit to Baylor. Facilities are great, but I'd say because of the people. For me in our program, we just got a locker room this past year. Very blessed and thankful for it, but it's always been about the people at Baylor. I think these college-aged are really high schoolers. Are trying to make decisions. They got to personalize what they believe. And I think when you come to Baylor, you're just surrounded by so many people that are encouraging wise decisions that go above and beyond. So from our leadership development to our character development to our spiritual development programs to our strength training to our academic services and coaches, I think Baylor just does a phenomenal job in having great people here. And, ultimately you attract people who are like-minded. So we get athletes that want to do something and be excellent in what they're trying to achieve.
Obviously, with the recruiting classes you've been able to bring in and develop, the success you've had, especially last season where the whole nation was put on notice that Baylor volleyball is here, Baylor volleyball is here to stay. 2019 AVCA National Coach of the Year. You had the Region Coach of the Year. You coached the AVCA National Player of the Year last season and made it all the way to the national semifinal. Is that fuel for this season? Is that still in your mind, or is there a reset button that you've hit going into this spring year?
It's both. It's in our minds that when we started back in the fall, we wanted to go farther. We want to win one more game and then be in the big dance and see what that's going to look like and give ourselves opportunity to win that national championship. But our focus also this spring is growth too, above and beyond just the court. So we don't want to let that become our tunnel vision focus, but we want to look at ways that we're still growing as people, growing our relationships, and then most certainly growing in being more efficient offensively and tougher on defense. So it's a combination of both. I think for some of the athletes, it kind of fuels the fire a little bit. Like, hey, I want to, that it tasted so good to be part of that Final Four experience. But then you have that bitter taste of the loss. Let's get there again and start pushing now to make sure we're at our best opportunity come April.
And for you, talking about being your best come April, I looked at ESPN's preseason ranking. Baylor at number 6 coming into the year, your team at number 6. And obviously 3 or 4 years ago, that would have just blown people away. But for you, when you see that, A, what do you make of it? B, do you make anything of it?
Yeah, we've never made anything from our recruiting class rankings. Like we got the right people, and they'll rank other schools ahead of us sometimes, but we just have fun getting the wins and beating those programs. I think when it comes to rankings, there is a part of it's nice to be nationally respected and people understand who Baylor is and to be in the polls kind of month in, month out is it's part of the dream. It's why these athletes wanted to be here and climb and get there. But, we've played so much volleyball. We kind of know it's all meaningless until you get to the end. And, those rankings become a little bit important towards the end when they start affecting seeding a little bit. But again, with COVID, we're not sure what home court advantage will look like or not look like, or they haven't decided if we're going to bubble the whole tournament or not. So, to be determined.
When you talk about fuel for your team, looking at last season, the rankings too, you kind of throw that into a pot. How about last year? I say last year, just this past fall, that match against Texas, up 2-0, and you end up falling in that one. Is that fuel in itself? Is that still fresh on the team's mind? Because that seemed like a monumental moment, at least from a fan or outside perspective.
Yeah, no, it was because we need to win on the road, and obviously you're not going to play your national championship on your home floor. And I think we've gone 2 years not losing at home, but we got to make sure we can kind of go undefeated when we're on the road. Texas, obviously a great program. They're ranked number 2, and they're always good year in, year out. So it would have been good to be able to finish that off. We did back-to-back matches that both went 5, and that's our sport. 2 or 3 points can determine, we're 2 or 3 swings away from sweeping 3-0, and then you miss those, and then it turns into a 5-set loss. So we got to be able to mentally be tough enough to capture those moments. I felt like we were playing free and aggressive in that, and it was some pretty good volleyball at that time.
Yeah. And then for you, from a health standpoint, I know you mentioned COVID and how things are a little bit different just a second ago. A health standpoint, injury-wise and COVID-wise, what's your program looking like as they come back?
We should be fresh, rested, and ready. That was something people didn't bring up too much Callie Williams really set for us most of the season because our All-American setter, Hannah Sedgwick, was out. So, knowing we're going to have this second half, we didn't really have to push her too much. She did some great things. She was able to come in and play in the Texas match a little bit. So getting her back healthy, I think will make a big difference for us. A few other athletes had some minor surgeries and should be good to go. One of them hit COVID, so it hurt her rehab, but overall we have great depth, and I'm gonna find out next week how well they took care of themselves, but I know they're hungry to do well this season, so I don't expect any surprises. I think we should be 1 degree better and hopefully stronger than when we left in November.
Depth and competition standpoint, and I know you haven't necessarily seen how your team has developed over the break too, or worked over the break, but is this possibly the best team that you've coached in your career?
One thing I always encourage girls is not to compare. I think we got some athletes that, are in that top percentage, but I've been blessed. I got 9 national championships, and each of those teams brought different qualities and characteristics, and really, some legacy. So I think those principles, this recent team at Baylor, especially the 2019 team, really captured and held on to some of those principles of just healthy, humble confidence with great character, and really did it for the Lord and what they're trying to do. So, I've been on so many great teams as a player and coached so many teams. It would be a disservice to try and even rank them.
Well, how about this then? We asked this same question to Todd Harbour and Michael Woodson earlier in the show today, Coach. How close, this program that made it all the way to the semifinal last year, obvious Big 12 contenders this season, national contenders, how close is your program to notching a national championship?
Those are one of those things where every year somebody's going to win a national championship. For Baylor, I think winning the first one for all programs is always the hardest one to get there and arrive there and try and stay there. So, that's to be determined. For us, it's how well can we be a championship team tomorrow? How well can we be a championship team next week? My hope is that this is the greatest volleyball experience for these ladies. For a lot of them to win a championship would be a dream of a lifetime, but we know a lot of work has to go in, and we're playing a lot of good programs that have also been there year in and year out. So we want to give ourselves that opportunity and then really make sure we're hungry and prepared. My job is to make sure we're prepared to take it as we get there. But, with the way Yasi played at the end of the year, not being healthy most of the fall, getting Hannah back, maybe with some of the additions we have this semester, it's going to be a fun ride, fun journey. I think our challenge will be we really got to sharpen ourselves within our gym, as well as some of these non-conference teams we're playing.
Absolutely. Coach Ryan McGuire, the Baylor volleyball team, joining us today. Coach, thanks so much for taking the real line of questioning. But now we get into our Bear games that we play every day. And this right here is where things really get interesting. So we're doing a second best Baylor football player of the last decade bracket right now, because having RG3 in there just wouldn't be fair. So we've got matchups today between Terrence Williams and Danny Watkins. I know a couple of these guys may predate you, but they're bigger names. Who you got in the T-Will, D-Watt matchup?
I'll go D-Watt in that one.
How about James Lynch and Terrell Bernard? Here's a couple of current guys.
We'll go Lynch.
James Lynch, Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. And then if you could add one school in the country, and it could be Northwestern State if you really wanted it to be. It could be CalBap if you wanted it to be. Add one program to the Big 12, who would it be?
It would be the other BU. It'd be Biola University out of Southern California, my alma mater.
Coach, would you believe that you are the first person today to say Biola University?
I probably would believe that. I might be the first person listening that knows where that school is.
You may be the first person to have said Biola University on the SicEm365 Radio family of shows. But Coach McGuire, thanks so much. We're really excited about the Baylor Biola conference matchup next season.
Hey, I'll try and make that happen.
I love it. That's Coach Ryan McGuire, the Baylor volleyball program. Coach, thanks again for joining us today on Uptempo.
All right, thank you.
Great. Man, Armstrong, what a cast of coaches that Baylor has and that have joined our show in the last week and a half or so that have brought such awesome insight on how they do things. And what I love, the cohesion between them all and how they talk about their programs and their program success, the humility, and not only that, talking about how what really matters is inside the locker room and making sure that they're preparing champions for life. Like, that's not just a fun slogan to put on your voicemail. Like, that's a real thing that Baylor coaches are doing, and to be in an atmosphere like that as a fan and as a member of sports media is unbelievable. Like, that's so cool to see that the coaches across the board have that in mind first. I'm Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims. We got a half hour of the show left. Don't go anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm excited for it. A lot to talk about still today. This is Uptempo.
It was a busy Super Tuesday in college basketball last night with upsets across the country. Starting in the Big 12, number 6 Kansas fell to Cade Cunningham and unranked Oklahoma State, surrendering a lead with under a minute to go.
Intercepted by Bryce Williams, and Oklahoma State with a little showtime at the end. Win it over Kansas, 75-70.
Elsewhere, number 19 Duke lost to number 20 Virginia Tech on the road, 74-67. Unranked Kentucky lost to Alabama in Rupp Arena, 85-65. And number 7 Michigan blew out number 9 Wisconsin in Ann Arbor, 77-54. This was the third straight ranked win for the Wolverines by 19 points or more, the most such wins in college basketball. Elsewhere, Oklahoma beat TCU 82-46, and UNC snuck by Syracuse 81-75. While Baylor did not play last night, they weren't alone, as the virus has not only caused postponements for West Virginia's program, but now has temporarily halted Oregon and Vanderbilt's seasons. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Uptempo.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84 and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Allen Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs. Even offering financing if that's needed, everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrap fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrap fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
All right, welcome back into the Betty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I am Drake Toll alongside Armstrong Sims, our producer. We've already given out some cool stuff today, man. We gave out a sticker earlier, gave out a free T-shirt. We got one of these to give away pretty soon. Somebody's going to win this. Somebody's got to win this. What are we calling it? A milk glass? Is that what you called it?
I would drink milk out of it, but apparently it's for wine.
It's for wine. It's for wine.
But I would drink milk out of it.
It's for wine. But you would.
You know, I go through a gallon of milk a week.
I feel like you could drink this, or that you would put milk in this with ice. Like that's when I picture you drinking milk, I picture you being an ice and a milk guy.
Why would you put ice in milk?
Exactly.
It comes out of the fridge.
But I picture you being the guy that's like, yeah, I like ice in my milk.
Well, you picture incorrectly,
like
sir.
This right here, you would put ice and milk in that. I know you would. How about this? You've got ESPN Plus. We're giving away some premium ESPN Plus content here because it's Plus. You got to pay for that. They dropped their top 25 players in men's college basketball for the 2020-2021 season so far. Guess who's number 1?
Players, you said?
Yep.
Garza.
Luka Garza, it is, which makes sense. Also, call us 254-339-1122. We're still talking who we're bringing into the Big 12 this week and adding to the conglomerate of teams that are already in the Big 12 that has 10 teams. We're adding a team, maybe 2. If you want to add 2, you can add 2. Luka Garza is number 1 on the list. Score 1 for the conventional wisdom of the preseason. Garza was number 1 national player of the year 3 months ago. He's still number 1 on the list. He's really good, all right? He's really, really good.
Hey, let me tell you, I want to add 6 teams to the Big 12.
Okay, make the list right now. While I'm talking about this list, make your list of 16.
No, you keep talking about that.
All right. Jared Butler, guess where he lands?
Number 2, maybe.
Number 2, Jared Butler. Butler would be an excellent candidate for a dedicated Best Two-Way Player in the Nation award. Okay. To the extent that Baylor's balanced offense has a feature scorer, the junior fills that role with remarkable efficiency. Butler's hitting his shots from both sides of the arc. His assist percentage is higher than that of fellow Kusi Award nominees such as Cade Cunningham, Ayo Dasunmu, or Jalen Suggs. Meanwhile, he's a relentless distributor on defense who ranks in the top 50 for ranks top 50 nationally for steal percentage. I didn't know that. Thanks, ESPN Plus. The individual statistical comps don't necessarily reach back this far, but this kind of whatever-it-takes excellence on both sides of the ball from the 6'4"-ish lead guard calls to mind what Dwayne Wade was able to do for Marquette in 02-03. That's a good comparison. Jared Butler to Dwayne Wade. Jared Butler's number 2 right now in the nation. Top 25 players in men's collegiate basketball. Guess who's number 3?
I don't have a good guess.
It's Corey Kispert. Corey Kispert from Gonzaga. Furthermore, Corey Kispert's number 3. Also from Gonzaga, Drew Timme is number 6. Drew Tim.
Drew Timme. It's Drew Timme.
I need to do better on names. Number 8, Jalen Suggs, Gonzaga. That's 3 Gonzaga players in the top 8. Guess how many Baylor players are in the top 25?
I would guess 3.
Okay. Who would those 3 be?
Jared Butler, Davion Mitchell, and Teague.
I will give you, it is 2. Baylor has 2. Jared Butler and 1 more. If you had to guess that 1 more, who are you going with?
That's difficult, but I'd say probably, I feel like maybe Teague.
Where would you put Teague?
I'd put him at probably like 18.
At number 14, Davion Mitchell of the Baylor Bears. At first glance, Mitchell's stat line is surprisingly similar to that of his teammate Jared Butler, albeit at a lower level possession usage. How about this, too? Indeed, one notable difference is that Mitchell is far more successful on his twos, shooting 63%. Baylor's reaping the benefits of these similarities as the two juniors function as co-distributors of the ball on an offense that's tearing through the Big 12 at a rate of 1.16 points per trip. When BU brushed Illinois aside 82-69 in Indianapolis last month, Mitchell put on a show with 15 points and 7 assists. I think Davion Mitchell, he might be the best player on the team when it comes to, okay, if you take one player out of the mix and the team automatically gets significantly worse, I think Davion Mitchell's probably my number one guy on the list that I don't want to take out of the mix. Like, he is the catalyst for the offense from an assist standpoint.
Yeah.
He can shoot the three.
Yeah.
He can score the two at 63% shooting. Davion Mitchell just makes things go. Even on the nights where you're like, hey, Davion Mitchell scored 5 points tonight. Well, 4 of those are probably coming at no, the math doesn't check out. 3 of those are probably coming at the free throw line, which is good. Like, the guy can get fouled and go to the line, sink his free throws. He's a solid free throw shooter. Number 2, with those 5 points, he's got 12 assists. The guy is a cat. Not only that, well, they call him off night Davion for a reason. That's because he can play defense and keep his opponents from scoring.
Yeah.
Maybe the best on-ball defender in the country. I'll tell you, there are other guys in that conversation for best on-ball defender in the country. But what I think gives Davion the nod in that is the constant night in, night out teams and players that he is going up against in the Big 12 and will continue to go up against as we talk later on this week about Baylor and Texas Tech. That game taking place this Saturday. The men back in action after their game was canceled against West Virginia. Would have been great to see that one, man. I was really looking forward to that. Don't have it. It gets wiped off the slate. But Davion Mitchell, Jared Butler. Butler ranking in at number 2. And then you also have on the other side of that, number 14, that is Davion Mitchell on ESPN's top 25 collegiate players. So Gonzaga has 3 in the top 8. Baylor has 2 in the top 15. Here's the deal. I think I take Baylor's depth over Gonzaga's all day long. Prior to the TCU game, Baylor's bench was outscoring opponents 38-19. 38-19. 38 points from the bench for Baylor. And there are multiple nights this season where the bench has outscored the starters. Granted, that typically happens when the starters come out and they're up 50 to, 18. That has happened. And then your bench players come in and they end up putting up another 35 and they end up outscoring the starters. Great. But the bench players are just that good. Matthew Meyer, Adam Flagler. Everyday John is coming off the bench for Baylor right now. Like, that guy has been an absolute dominant animal. You look at the way the starters are playing, too, against TCU. Maceo Teague, those dunks that Maceo Teague had, spectacular. Unbelievable how well Baylor is playing when they need to. That's the one thing that today I wanted to talk about that. Where is Baylor succeeding on the basketball floor, and where could they get better, if not significantly better? I think number one, where are they succeeding? The defensive side of the ball. If you look at their matchups this season, if there's one thing they can do, they can get a stop when they need a stop. Their defense has been impeccable. It's consistent. Defense what? Defense travels, and Baylor's had defense all year long. Other side of that, where can Baylor improve? I think it's inconsistency. Baylor can be more consistent with what they're toying with opponents, it feels like right now, you know? Like, there are times in the game where it's like, hey, should Iowa State be within 5 points right now? And Baylor's like, good point. We're going to go on a 15-2 run. But if that 15-2 run was sustained, and another thing that I have, a question that goes along with that, is it because of Baylor's opponents? Listen to these. Kansas State, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Central Arkansas, Alcorn State, lowly Iowa State, pretty lowly Oklahoma, lowly TCU. That's been Baylor's slate since December 19th. Rolling up on January 13th, they'll play January. So that's a month-long slate of teams that really aren't that great that Baylor should blow out. There have been a couple of those games where you look at the score and you go, yeah, it was a blowout. But there are points in the game where you're thinking, hey, I get that we're turning it on. I get you guys turning it on for 4 minutes and going on this 12-0 tear. But can you do that like the whole game, you know? And if you're Scott Drew, do you want that? Do you want that kind of consistency in your program where the entire game they're just putting pedal to the metal? Or is it hey, we're switching lineups, we're still figuring out what works for us, we're trying to get there to the point where, hey, this is what's going to be good, here's what we need to rely on, It seems streaky right now. But it's almost as if they haven't had to do anything else. They haven't had to play the entire consistent full 40 minutes since the game against Illinois in Indianapolis, the number 5 team, where they did. They played to that level, and it was a streak at the end of the game that carried them to the victory. So my question is when they play West Virginia, Texas Tech, Kansas, because those 3 games were supposed to be in a row, how do they play? Are they streaky again, and they really pedal to the metal when it matters? Or are they attacking this as if, all right, full 40 minutes, we're playing out on full blast, everybody at the top of their game? I'll tell you one game where you really saw it, their conference opener, Kansas State, they were dominant from jump. Like, it was stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid how bad they were beating Kansas State immediately. I listened to it's all I could pick up was the Kansas State radio broadcast, and those guys were enamored with how well Baylor was playing and how consistent Baylor was playing. And if they can play at that level, I don't see there being a team in the country that Baylor will lose to. I don't. I get it. Gonzaga's good. But when the first 5 for Baylor go out there and they put up 35 points in the first 10 minutes, and then you're like, all right, well, okay, bring in the backups, please. We need a breath. And then off the bench is Adam Flagler or Jonathan Chamwa-Chachua, Everyday John, or Matthew Meyer. What do you do with that? If you're an opponent, what do you do with that? Because those 3 guys right there are just as good, almost as good as the starting 5. And when they're plugged in, the way that Scott Drew does it, man, even late in the game, up by 15, yeah, you're throwing guys out there like Flagler, who's getting a little bit more playing time. But at the same time, you've also got Jared Butler and Maceo Teague still on the floor. Outside of LJ Cryer. The guy can shoot the lights out of the basketball. Not only that, we haven't even mentioned Mark Vidal and Flo Thamba. Come on, Dane Danger coming in next year, and not that the recruiting class has been spectacular as well. The Baylor men's basketball team, top to bottom, they are good because of their depth. But here's what I want to see, and I think is still out there. It's in the void. Can Baylor, against every tough opponent they play, the teams that just knows the grindstone, is Baylor going to win this? Can they play a consistent 40 minutes, keep the streak alive, and not just streak here or there? Because if you get down on Kansas by 8 at Allen Fieldhouse with 5 minutes to go, yeah, a 12-4 run, 12-2 run is going to help you, but will it sustain, I mean, I want to see this Baylor team go up against the Kansas, the Gonzaga, your Michigan's playing really well right now, and just give a full 40 minutes where it's relentless. It is relentless. Kind of similar to the Illinois game. I want to know, can those streaks be consistent? That's my question. Maybe a little bit of a concern for Baylor men's basketball. How does that look moving forward? I think we're going to see it this weekend at Texas Tech. Not going to be a crazy, road atmosphere. But whoa. Hey. Source to Stock Risers. This breaking news right here. Stock Risers, former 5-star recruit and Texas Tech freshman Nimari Burnett has officially entered the transfer portal this morning. He appeared in 10 games for the Red Raiders this season. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe Baylor won't get to see it yet against Texas Tech this weekend. I do think it'll be a good game on the road. Not much of a true road atmosphere with COVID, but again, 5-star recruit and Texas Tech freshman Nimari Burnett officially has entered the transfer portal this morning. He appeared in 10 games for the Red Raiders this season. Wonder how that'll change things moving forward for those guys and Chris Beard. I'm Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims. Coming up next, we have celebrity birthdays. We also have This Day in Sports History. We're going to recap our up-temp polls, and we're going to talk a little bit more college basketball. Michigan last night made a statement. Kansas loses to Oklahoma State. All that and more up next on Up Tempo.
It was a busy Super Tuesday in college basketball last night with upsets across the country. Starting in the Big 12, number 6 Kansas fell to Cade Cunningham and unranked Oklahoma State, surrendering a lead with under a minute to go.
Intercepted by Bryce Williams, and Oklahoma State with a little showtime at the end. Win it over Kansas 75-70.
Elsewhere, number 19 Duke lost to number 20 Virginia Tech on the road, 74-67. Unranked Kentucky lost to Alabama in Rupp Arena, 85-65. And number 7 Michigan blew out number 9 Wisconsin in Ann Arbor, 77-54. This was the third straight ranked win for the Wolverines by 19 points or more, the most such wins in college basketball. Elsewhere, Oklahoma beat TCU 82-46, and UNC snuck by Syracuse 81-75. While Baylor did not play last night, they weren't alone, as the virus has not only caused postponements for West Virginia's program, but now has temporarily halted Oregon and Vanderbilt's seasons. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Don's Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Arturo Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don's Humidor in the Townwest Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed. Put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Come on with it, Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I'm Drake Toll, our producer Armstrong Sims. Jack, the intern, has now made an appearance on the set of Up Tempo today, rounding out the last segment on our, what was it? It's not a muggy Wednesday. It's a nice Wednesday, isn't it?
It was a nice Wednesday.
A nice Wednesday is what we'll call it. A full slate of guests today. How about it? Michael Woodson joined us earlier in the show. Kyron Drones did as well. Had head track coach Todd Harbour and our last guest, Coach Ryan McGuire of the Baylor volleyball team. Today we're playing celebrity birthdays. We've also got This Day in Sports History coming up for our buddy Armstrong Sims. We'll see how well he can do today. I don't know if you've gotten a birthday yet. We are 8 days in, and I do not
Didn't I get one yesterday?
I think you got a This Day in Sports History.
Okay.
Yeah, you got an Alabama. You got a national championship game, which is super easy. Come on. Asking the question today on our Up Temp polls: Terrence Williams or Danny Watkins, James Lynch or Terrell Bernard. And then if you could add one school in the nation to the Big 12, who would it be and why? Again, I have opened the table up. You could pick Towson. You could pick Northwestern State. You say, hey, I'm a big Lamar fan. Boom. Consider it done. They're in the Big 12. Coach Ryan McGuire, the Baylor volleyball program, Biola University. Ever heard of her? Yeah, she's in the Big 12 now. Talking about that today, who you would add. How about tomorrow? Tomorrow we're going to ask the question, who would you remove from the Big 12? A little bit more dramatic. There's a lot more stuff that goes into that. And it can't be Texas, you know? Like I would have way less content if Texas wasn't in the Big 12. Can we start there, Armstrong? Will you please replay Chris Del Conte hugging Steve Sarkisian? If you guys are watching on the YouTube or on any of our live feed services, Chris Del Conte shakes the hand of Steve Sarkisian for his opening press conference, pulls him in for a hug, but it's not a hug. He pulls his arm, then he hugs him around his neck as almost like you are saving us. It is what you would do if Batman and what was the girl's name?
Catwoman?
God.
Is that what you're referring?
No, the woman he always saves. He's in love with her. Jane?
Batman?
That's Tarzan.
Talking about Batman?
Yeah. Batman's got a love interest. Superman. Clark Kent and Batman's got a love interest. You guys ever saw Dark Knight? Moot point.
Does he have a love interest?
Yeah, I think so. It is the same. Somebody comment that. It is the same thing as he gives the neck hug. Like, thank you, you've saved the day. The town is free now because you've saved us from our evildoers. On top of that, how about the picture of him with the governor? I've never understood this. Thank you. I'm glad you played that one. There, right there, Governor Greg Abbott alongside Chris Del Conte and Steve Sarkisian, new head coach at Texas. When Dave Aranda was here, Greg Abbott never had a photo shoot with Dave Aranda. Why has it got to be?
Well, here, let me defend him real quick. There's multiple reasons. One, he's an alumni of Texas. Two, Texas is a state school. Baylor is not.
Okay.
So there's two reasons right there. But also, he did show up to the Baylor-Oklahoma game last year.
Yeah, he shows up when it matters.
And he gave the old SicEm and did the coin toss.
That's what it feels like. It feels like he's only going to show up if it's like, this would look good if I did that.
Yeah, that's what he does all the time.
I guess that's part of being in politics.
Part of being governor. But he doesn't have time. Again, the man's schedule is loaded. He doesn't have time to show up to a Baylor-Kansas game.
Right, but he has time to do a photo shoot with Steve Sarkisian.
Yeah, I guess.
The new head coach at Texas.
Okay, that's
offensive
fair.
coordinator from Alabama, because congratulations to Texas on the national championship they won. How about this? What if I told you this duo was one of the best quarterback-wide receiver duos in the country? You have that pulled up, Armstrong, the picture of Mac?
I had, no, not right now.
Mac Jones, that's fine. That's fine. Looking through here, scrolling through here, some of the best stuff we've seen in social media. Introductory press conference, the picture with between Sarkisian and the governor, Greg Abbott. How about PFF College? Highest rated quarterback season since 2014. Mac Jones, number 1, 95.8. Number 2, Zach Wilson, 95.4. This is since 2014. You know who Zach Wilson's offensive coordinator was?
A good old Jeff Grimes.
Jeff Grimes, Zach Wilson's offensive coordinator. This video, too, Armstrong, ESPN College Football. It says, retweet if you think Nick Saban is the greatest college football coach of all time. It's a video. We're gonna watch this. About a minute and a half long, kind of stories.
I don't have that.
The story. How long would it take?
I can get it in like 15 seconds, but you have to talk about something else.
Okay. ESPN College Football, retweet Nick Saban. Yesterday at our Up 10 polls, we had the question about Nick Saban. So they tweeted this video out yesterday that breaks down Nick Saban's illustrious career where he was at LSU and then his tenure with Alabama. Obviously won the national title in 2004 as a part of the Bayou Bengals. Moves on to the Crimson Tide after a stint in the NFL, and now he's won, he's won 7 titles, 6 at Alabama, dating back to 2008. The guy has built what is an absolute dynasty, and ESPN yesterday released this video that goes along with our Up 10 polls, but we'll start with this, Armstrong.
Nick Saban out of Fairmont, West Virginia. LSU wins the BCS National Championship.
I think you're going to be in this game a lot in the future.
Still not smiling. Another national championship for the Crimson Tide.
You saw the Gatorade shower this time. You reacted a little differently. What'd you do?
I loved it.
Alabama again, the champions of college football.
Well, 2 days we're going to start on next year. We got a 24-hour rule around here.
Alabama back on top. Another building block in this dynasty. You got to smile.
You got it, baby. You got it.
Fire to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins!
Oh, is that a good game or what?
No final play drama needed tonight. Just an emphatic performance to cap season of incredible consistency against all odds. Unbeaten and really untested except for one game by the Florida Gators in the fourth quarter. Saban and the Tide on top.
I love everything about that except for the whole unbeaten and untested, except that he wasn't untested. He was untested most of the time. I love when announcers do that. I love when that's the script. They're like, undefeated, except for that one game we lost. Aha! That was Baylor's regular season last year. They were undefeated, except for the Oklahoma game. Nick Saban, though, the up-temp polls yesterday, Armstrong, if you have those pulled up, I don't know if you guys got to check those out, but up-tempo posts their up-temp polls every day, and yesterday you said, oh my gosh, that's like monumentally, I can't see that.
It's too small for you?
Is Nick Saban the greatest college athletics coach of all time? 70% of you said yes. 30% said no. I'd like to know the no people who you're going with. I was a no person going with John McDonnell. Is Nick Saban the greatest college football coach of all time? That then became 82% to 18%.
Correct.
I think that's like that. It'd be tough to argue against that. The no people, you're probably going with Grant Taff. And I got to say, I concur. I, too, would probably go with Grant Taff on that one. Baylor's second-best football player of the last decade yesterday, Kendall Wright, beat Nick Florence 82-18. Levi Norwood lost in an upset, a narrow upset. I say narrow, as in, like, it's not, you can't really call it an upset, but Ahmad Dixon won that one, 71% of the vote to 29%. Also at up-temp polls, I'm getting there. Who's better, Nick Saban or John Wooden? 68% of people said Nick Saban, 32% said John Wooden. I like that. You know? Like, think about it. I don't know. It's like recency bias. Like, what's harder, to win a national championship in football today or a 10 straight in the 60s, you know? Like, I can't answer that. Well, yeah, I can't tell you what the culture of college athletics was then and collegiate basketball. I don't know. I can't even tell you it was as good as it is today. There were insane athletes back then. Put Wilt Chamberlain on the floor right now, and he's still dominating, you know? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, whose real name is?
I'm blanking now. I said
Really?
Lou Alcindor.
Yeah,
I said it yesterday.
You were the one that said that. You were the one that guessed Lou Alcindor. I mean, you know, put him in the game today. I think he does well. How about this? Is 6 wins from Baylor asking too much next year? 90% of people said no.
Wow. We got some high expectations.
10%.
After a 2-7 season, by the way.
That's a loaded question, though. Because it says, is 6 win asking too much? I agree. I don't think it's asking too much. Is 6 wins reasonable? I think the question probably turns a little bit, you know, or like, would you be happy with 6 wins? I would still be happy with 6 wins. In the regular season, Baylor goes and they play in a bowl game. You win or you lose your bowl. I mean, you're in a bowl. Today's polls, Terrence Williams, 97.3% of the vote compared to Danny Watkins, 2.7%. James Lynch, 73.6% of his matchup against Terrell Bernard. James Lynch is going to walk away with that one pretty handedly. A Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. Terrence Williams was insane. He caught that touchdown against Oklahoma. Danny Watkins is good. But, you know, it's the same as Sam Hall getting matched up with Bryce Petty. It's not the same, but it's close to the same. Where it's like, man, I love you, Sam Hall, but I'm sorry I have to do this to you. Up-temp polls today. There's nothing else. Armstrong.
Nothing else.
You didn't post any other up-temp polls today.
Yeah, there wasn't an interesting question.
All right. Celebrity birthdays. Griffin Johnson, TikTok star, who I've never heard of. How old is he today?
19.
22. He's old. He's old for a TikTok star. Guy's got to start getting his life together.
Yeah.
Liam Hemsworth. How old is Liam Hemsworth today? I brought him up earlier in the show. Him and Ryan McGuire have like this just glaring.
47.
He's 31.
Really?
I think Ryan Gosling's probably like 47. I get those two mixed up. Yeah, Liam Hemsworth's 31. Yeah, that's really young.
That is really young.
Liam, I know you're watching right now.
Jack was going to guess 27.
And you're welcome, Liam. You're welcome.
40.
Patrick Dempsey.
I don't know.
55. You
55.
can't just not know. You
I
know who
have
Patrick Dempsey
just have to
is.
say
You know who Patrick Dempsey is?
Not at the top of my head.
He was in Grey's Anatomy. That guy.
Never seen it.
Wow. Or McDreamy. Orlando Bloom.
65. I literally just said a random number because, again, I don't know who that is.
Armstrong. Pirates of the Caribbean. Orlando Bloom.
Oh, yeah. Okay, like 30.
44. God bless America.
Oh, yeah, Orlando Bloom. I got it, guys.
Tough,
hey,
man.
I got shots fired at me from both sides here.
Yeah, that was tough. Bill Bailey. Comedian Bill Bailey has a birthday today.
Again, 50.
He is 56. You never heard of Bill Bailey, have you?
No, of course not.
Yeah. Trace Atkins' birthday is today. Him and Kim Mulkey are good buds. You know why?
I don't know why.
They were both at Louisiana Tech together. It's Louisiana folks. Trace Atkins' birthday is today.
Trace Atkins is 60.
60-50? Is that what you just said? Did you say 60-50 again?
I said 60-60 this time.
60-60. Oh, he's 61.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Her birthday is today. You know Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
I do.
Seinfeld.
Yeah. 50.
50-60? She is 60. Jeez, man. So close today.
I am one behind.
There are a couple more on here. I don't really know if you would know them, though. I wish we had like a historical one. I kind of dropped the ball today on finding a historical celebrity birthday. Outside of that, more celebrity birthdays today. You got the, Paddington Bear author, Michael Bond.
Oh, yeah, I know this one. 170.
I have no idea.
What is he?
I don't know. I didn't pull it up. Event of interest.
I gotta find it.
Michael Jordan retires from basketball for the second time in what year?
2003.
99. I thought he played longer than that, too. You've got James Harden, 16th straight game with 30-plus points, matching Kobe Bryant. He scored 38 points.
Who is this, James Harden?
Yep. And on the same night, he went 1 for 17 from the three-point line, tying the record for the most misses on the same night that he broke Kobe Bryant's record. James Harden.
2016.
2019.
Wow.
National championship, LSU beats Clemson in what year?
LSU beats Clemson in 2005.
It was literally last year. 2020 LSU Clemson, Armstrong Sims, Drake Toll. That was celebrity birthdays and this day in sports history. That was an atrocity. We'll work on it tomorrow, though. We'll do it all over again on a Thursday. I'm Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims. Great Wednesday today on Uptempo.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84, and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Allen Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance, and there are no hidden costs, even offering financing if that's needed. Everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.